What is up, guys? Welcome to episode 26 of the Fielder's Choice podcast. I am Dan Field. Wade Boggs, I knew it. All
Mr.
the way to the
Boggs.
left, we've got Matt Giblin, and in the middle, Miss Angie Santamaro. What is up, guys? Episode 26, Wade Boggs.
Wade Boggs. Who else could it be?
I knew you were going to go with Wade Boggs, but then again, like you said, I don't know who else you would pick for 26.
Quick little stats on Wade Boggs. 18-year career, 10 with the Sox. His rookie year was the year I was born, 1982. He did wear number 12 with the Yankees from 93 to 97, where he did win the World Series in 1996. Finished his career in Tampa Bay. A 328 career hitter, 3,018 hits, 118 home runs, won 5 batting titles, 4 in a row. 200 hits 7 times in a row from 83 to 89, right? Also played in the longest game ever, 33 innings at McCoy Stadium, Rochester Red Wings, when he was still in the minors, right?
And he drinks 33 beers every night.
As superstitious as they get, the Chicken Man, 12-time All-Star, 2 Gold Gloves, 8 Silver Sluggers, a stud, Wade Boggs, right?
Stud.
And you guys have heard the drinking stories, right?
Of course.
Put back, yeah.
Well, it was the
drinks.
famous episode from Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they tried to do the Wade Boggs challenge. What do now?
What do now, right? He was in that Simpsons episode too, right?
Oh, yeah.
At the bat,
yes,
you know,
yes.
the Chicken Man. But quick story about why he got superstitious eating chicken. I heard on an interview he did with Bob Costas, Hall of Fame. There was one time, right, where he couldn't get chicken and he ended up eating pork chops. During the game, he got hit with a foul ball, went 0 for 4, right? And he was like, never again. I'm never eating. Went back to eating chicken and he went like 4 for 5 the next night.
That was like Major League.
Said he had to get dressed at a certain time. Had to hop over the sidelines, and he was a stud.
Yeah, he was a good ball player.
He was so fun to watch.
Yeah.
So episode 26, we got Brock Riley coming on in a little bit. Amateur baseball's done. MLB is done. We thought there wasn't much going on in the MLB or baseball in general. And then, of course, this crazy story comes out. And we're hearing more and more of these stories seemingly every day, it seems, with players fixing games. And I, for one, hate to see it. However, I've been saying, as Gib knows, for many, many years, that I've always thought professional sports have been rigged, not necessarily by the players, could be the refs. And while I hate to see these things happening, it feels good to get vindicated on my. I've been saying it for years, and everyone thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
They get paid all this money, blah blah blah.
D, are you getting any of your bets back, bud? Like, be vindicated
That's not what
all
it's
you
about.
want, but I mean, you know what? Because you know what? You find it hard to believe that some guy, a professional athlete who's making
A lot of
he
money.
was due to make what? I wrote this down.
Had 20 million.
4.9 mil this year, due to pay, get 6.4 mil next year, right?
Yep.
He made $6,500 per pitch this year, and that's basically, essentially, what he made on these bets was $7,000
Per pitch.
And per pitch. So I also heard something where, you know what, he got involved in this with the wrong people, obviously, and he a bet went awry, and the guys ended up coming after him, and I think he quickly found out that he couldn't find his way out of it, which is why maybe he continued it.
Well, there was
doesn't make it any better. I'm not condoning it or not, but I mean, we have a bigger issue on your hand when we're betting. It's the integrity of the game, right? It's what our job as umpires is to protect that, right? And wow.
Yeah, and I guess they're reportedly getting like $5,000 to $7,000 per pitch. Because for those who may not know, you can you can pretty much bet on anything with Vegas or different sites. But you can bet on a single pitch, whether it's going to be a strike, a ball, and he was purposely throwing balls, knowing that these people were betting thousands of dollars on the outcome. But then there was one where he threw the ball on purpose, but the batter swung, and apparently they lost thousands of dollars. In fact, it was, I don't know how well you can see this, but it talks about that situation and the text messages literally like 10 minutes after he threw that pitch. The guy on the other side who made the bets sent like
a meme or something,
a
right?
meme or something, with him hanging himself
with like toilet paper.
Yeah, because the guy wasn't supposed to swing at the pitch, and he responded 10 minutes later from the dugout, right? Just
here's the other thing. These two guys, they'll never play professional baseball again. Done.
It's crazy.
And it's the argument I have against Pete Rose. Like, do I think he had the numbers to get in? But this was the one thing that he was doing that, went against everything that the.
But he wasn't changing the supposedly wasn't changing the outcome of the game.
Supposedly,
but
who cares?
well, he was a manager, so there's. I mean,
even worse.
Right, because I think that there was, and I don't know the ins and outs of it, but when I remember talking to somebody about it, and they were saying, right, like you said, Dan, like they bet on everything. So if you bet on which players are going in, which players are going out, like just even the tiniest things, who's going to start, who's going to bat, whatever order, I think there were things that he was in control of, that even though he was betting on them to win, he was ultimately changing what would have been the purity of the game.
Yeah, of course.
Right? And I think if you're going into a Hall of Fame, regardless of what it is, you should be a purist. It should be you played ethically, you played well, you played clean. And so just like with steroids, just like with gambling, I don't think it taints it, right? It taints the sport that we love. And like, that's fucking frustrating. And to be honest with you, like Pete Rose, okay, you were the hit king. Were you the best baseball player ever? No. And so it's not like there's some sort of like, but he was the best ever. Like, no, he cheated.
He was.
Like, but he cheated. So you're not. Like, that takes you out. Like, I don't care what your stats are. Like, no. Like, part of being the best is not doing something that tarnishes the game.
Sure.
Sorry.
I mean, which is another good point because me and Dee were just talking about there's another documentary about A-Rod that's out on HBO. What, Alex versus A-Rod, is it? Dee?
Yeah, Alex versus A-Rod, yes.
And he comes he's pretty candid in it and pretty real about the mistakes that he's made, too. He also makes no mistake that he also believes that he is a Hall of Famer.
Well, he started by saying, which answer do you want? Do you want me to? Yeah.
Because here's the thing, like Barry Bonds would have been in the Hall of Fame pre-steroids, right? So it's these people who can't get over the fact that they're aging and there are younger players that are coming up better than them. And I'm sorry, but so many things have been damaged by the athletic ego, male and female. I'm sure we can cite cases with females where like you're getting older, younger guys are coming up. And instead of doing the natural kind of like good dude thing and becoming that big brother in the dugout, you have to now compete against them. You can't. You are 30 something years old and you have studs that are in their 20s coming up. So now all of a sudden you're like outpacing them. I'm sorry. Like that's questionable and it's bunk. Like, I don't know. I have a huge problem with it. I also have a huge problem with the fact that it's impacting players more so than these people that are gambling, right? Like it is negatively impacting players. There was an article that the NCAA put out a couple years ago from a sports psychologist that I read about that college athletes are suffering from more and more depression because if they don't win, right? People are betting on these college games. These kids don't win. They're getting horrible things thrown at them.
Yeah.
They're getting PMs. They're getting like DM'd how horrible they are. Like they're kids playing sports.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen instances of that online. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a good point, and then they have to answer questions about it from the press too, and they have the questions and the scrutiny and the side eye. Well, is he doing the right thing? Is he playing above board? It's
What
Yeah.
Ev?
Yeah, and it just ruins it. I mean, and honestly, like kids' mental health, not the best right now. And so you throw that onto athletes who 5 years ago were sitting in their, junior year of high school in their bedrooms. I just, at the risk of what?
So I did want to show this this video because of course.
But also, fuck A-Rod. Sorry.
Fuck Aaron. Because as we saw, I forgot the basketball player now off the top of my head. The NBA. Once that whole thing came out,
Chauncey Billups.
Yeah, Chauncey. Right away, videos came out of instances where he was clearly missing shots on purpose or giving the ball away. So this video has been making its way around the internet.
If you want to just get it down to its lowest common denominator.
Chitter Kerstad.
Where Daz Cameron as we start.
Oh, that's gross.
2 outings ago, it was an unearned.
It's a 1-run game here in the ninth.
Pretty blatant stuff.
Egregious. They're egregious. There were some that were so far right, so far left in the dirt. Like it's just egregious.
Yeah. He made it pretty obvious when you go back and look. Yeah. And so Case had a $20 million contract. And then the other guy that was involved, Ortiz, right? He was only making like $800,000. Oh, I say only.
Only
$800,000.
But it also sounded like they were kind of passing info along to their buddies so that their buddies could make a quick buck, and then like anything else, it snowballed on them. So
yeah, I mean, to think you're not going to get caught eventually is that's what's wild to me.
I will say it's good to see whoever it is, the DAs or something, starting to crack down on a lot of this. I do agree with that, D. Like enough is enough. I hate to see it happen, and hate to see it happen to some really good talent. Emmanuel Clase, man, wow.
But there's going to be somebody better. There's going to be somebody better. And it's just like all these dudes think, right? They think that they are the best fucking thing ever, but there's always going to be somebody better. So yes, maybe you were the best kid from Nashville, Tennessee, but you know what? Meet somebody else from the Dominican Republic.
Tennessee.
But you know what I mean? Like all these kids who rise up to this level, they were like the star player of their state.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
A lot of these kids.
Hard,
and then you
right?
And then you come onto the scene and you're just every other player, unless you're an A-Rod, an Ohtani, Freddie, like unless you're one of those, you are just every other player. And then you have to grapple with the fact that you're making league minimum, which can we talk about how much money that actually is, right? Like, come on.
I mean, they were 1% for a reason, right? I mean, it's hard, because then, some of them felt like that was the only way that they were going to last for another day, or maybe even have a shot at a contract. That's why all those rules and stipulations got put in place with that last CBA, which obviously should have done. MLB's got to wrestle with this, though. I mean, the steroid era it lasted for a while, and whether you like it or not, it happened or not. So and now some players are getting in, maybe others aren't. For instance, David Ortiz, was he on a list maybe at some point? Is he in? Do I think he should be in? Yes. Do I think that other people should be in, like Clemens? Absolutely. Bonds? Like you said, he was going to be a Hall of Famer anyways. A-Rod, man, I loved watching A-Rod play shortstop. I didn't like the fact that he wasn't on our team, but as a shortstop, as a middle infielder, man, those are my boys. Those are who I grew up with. Nomar, Jeter, A-Rod, like that's who I idolized. Like those 3 shortstops, to see them be tarnished.
But they did it to themselves.
Omar, right? Omar on the cover of that Sports Illustrated with the jack. They did do it. They all made their own decisions.
They did it to themselves. I'm sorry.
Human beings. Absolutely. I don't disagree with that.
I mean, human beings are greed. Like, I don't think the two are, I don't think the two have to be synonymous, but capitalism, here we are.
Yeah, right.
Yep. So, of course, their lawyers saying, they're innocent and they're looking forward to putting their story out there.
Of course.
And
then they can sell that book and then make all the money back.
It'll be interesting to see how, what's interesting too, 2 things. Like the overall relationship between professional sports and gambling sites now, especially the NBA. We don't have to go into details, but they all have sponsorships with DraftKings and FanDuel or whatever, so the way that relationship is, and I forget what was the second point I was going to make, but
Ken Evans says Ken Griffey did them too. He just didn't get caught. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of players out there that were doing them and didn't get caught. So are they deserving to get in just because they didn't get caught?
I was going to say.
Well, I mean, but that's a hypothetical and also moot point, right? If they don't get caught, then how the hell do people know that they did them, right?
Right.
Right. If I don't get caught murdering somebody, should I still go to jail? Like, if I don't get caught, like, do you know what I mean?
Depends who you're murdering.
That was the argument for the guys on the list of 102 players. Well, okay, you're not saying we got caught, but did we get away with it?
If there is proof that somebody did it, because we all know that people will accuse people that they don't like. We know that people will make, false claims. But if you have definitive proof, which is what I think you should need to have if you're going to make that claim on somebody's life and their money and their
careers, yeah.
And you have it and they did it, then no, man, no.
No, man,
Because it's like, think about it, right? We all, right now we're watching Ohtani, we're watching Judge. There will be somebody better than both of them someday. There will be. And,
I don't know about Ohtani.
But there will be though. But there will be, because that's evolution. That's human nature, right? Think about it. When we were kids, people in, MLB were pitching maybe 90s, right? High 90s. Now everybody's pitching 90s.
The game will evolve.
The game will evolve. The skill level will evolve. And so why tarnish your history with steroids, with cheating, with gambling? Like, it just seems so dumb.
Because
we prioritize
because temptation is real, and you know this, right? You get tempted by the devil. It's easy to go along when everyone else is doing it. That's what peer pressure is. You know this as a psychologist.
Right? But no, that's okay. So, but as a psychologist, I have to tell you that that's incorrect. It is. So we can get into like how we know this. However, people resist. You have a lot of people who are in hard situations and they don't do these things. And here you have guys in wonderful situations taking advantage. And that's not human nature. That is maladaptive behavior. This is what we talk about when we talk about maladaption, right? To have $800,000 and to feel like you need more, that's a problem.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't know where these guys came from. I'm not making excuses, but a lot of these kids growing up in the Dominican Republic had nothing, and they're coming into all this money. And we saw it with the NFL. Now they're giving classes and teaching these young players, how to save their money and how not to spend their money. But like an 18-year-old kid coming up from the DR who's never had money in their life before, now getting all this money.
But I think that's also a false narrative. That's a false narrative that lawyers use. And, I'm sorry, I work with kids who are underprivileged. I was underprivileged. I made good choices. I still did things ethically. Yeah, do you know what I mean? I just don't think that it's an excuse.
I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying.
But no, I mean, I agree, because there is a higher predisposition that you will engage in that kind of behavior. That is fact. So
why? Wait a minute, why?
Because you're in that because
that's not a fact.
Because of that environment.
But but where is the study or research that says that that's a stat? That's not a the truth.
I'm not saying it's a stat. All I'm saying
But you
is
said it's
a
a fact.
person has a higher predisposition to engage in riskier behavior if they're in a riskier environment. Absolutely. Yes.
So if the frontal lobe, right? If the frontal lobe is fully formed, which it is for men by 28, for females it's 22.
By 28, so these kids are...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So correct. So their frontal lobe is not fully formed. So the actual problem here is you're putting children, honestly, kids, into situations where their brain is wired to take high risk, high rewards, and nobody is watching them.
Yes.
So while I agree with you on part of what you said, right? They are the anomalies, or they're the only ones that get caught. But not every 20-year-old kid from the Dominican Republic who had nothing is going and doing this, right?
No, of course,
100%.
So then, what's the difference, right? Because then it's not the situation, it's not the environment, it's something else.
What's the difference is hopefully
personal choice.
Yep, and they're probably getting led by a strong support system that's probably leading them to more healthier environments. And
okay, so then people's support systems, their management, the people who are watching them to say like, hey, because if we look at the NFL, after they realized that half of their kids were going broke after like being in the NFL for 5 years or something, that after their career they were absolutely destitute. Then they started doing what? Giving business classes, talking to them about money. Like somebody started to do that, but it wasn't until you had generations of athletes who made billions for their owners.
Yep.
Did they say, oh shit, we should do something about this?
No, don't disagree
Never
with
mind
that.
CTE, but we can get into that some other time.
Yeah, we got to get the show moving.
We got to get to Brock.
We could spend a whole episode on this, but I just want to make one quick point. Like 18 years old, and maybe he's got a buddy back home in the DR who's still, living paycheck to paycheck, whatever, and he says to his buddy, dude, I could really use $7,000. All you gotta do is throw a ball, just one pitch. I can bet on it, and who knows? Like you said, they're not fully developed.
But he's making millions. Throw him $7K.
Well, the other guy,
you're gonna risk your career.
Well,
the other thing is
clearly they're willing to do it.
Allure of quick cash. Like
right.
To a college kid, that might be everything.
Right.
What's that 30 for 30 on the BC basketball betting scandal?
Yep.
Like that's another great take that people should watch. I mean, it's exactly the same thing. 1970s, and those kids just got sucked in by the wrong crowd who took advantage of them.
Yep.
Right.
So I'm just going to go on a limb before I know we have to bring in Brock, but I just say one more thing. The chemicals in the brain that are like dispersed with gambling, with substance abuse, with all those things, the endorphins, the adrenaline, the serotonin, the dopamine, that becomes addictive. So what's happening is they're getting trapped in a dopamine cycle, right? Yeah. And betting is fun, and it's like it raises the anxiety level. Now you're pitching in an MLB stadium for the first time. How are you ever going to equal that again? High risk, right? They're addicted to this adrenaline rush, and that's what I think is a bigger part of this, because he doesn't need $7,000 to send to. He doesn't need to bet on $7,000, right? He's making even if he's making 800,000. That's nothing.
Yeah, you're right. It's something more. Something else. Yeah, the thrill of trying to get away with it.
Yeah.
Right. Like you don't need that, and now no career.
Well, you watch a lot of shows, dudes that rob bank. They rob one bank, and they're like, it's a drug for them,
Right.
And they keep going back and doing it, and they don't think about the consequences. So like, wow, I got away with that. I get all this money for doing nothing, for throwing one pitch.
Right.
65 years these guys could face.
That's I mean, I don't think that will happen, but they got to make an example of. I mean, they're going to probably try and make an example.
It's mind-boggling. For
but
what?
Does this not boggle your mind that, like, you know what? I'm gonna be quiet. Never mind. I just think 65 years for gambling and a $300 fine for some high school basketball player who hurt some people is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, the system is flawed.
Right.
But before we bring Brock in,
the system's fucking broken.
We're also MLB award finalists have been announced, and I know we got a Red Sox player up there somewhere, Rookie of the Year, right?
Cy Young. Garrett Crochet.
And Crochet and
rookie of the year was
Roman
announced
Anthony.
tonight.
Roman Anthony.
Oh, who was it?
They gave it to Kurtz.
Oh, they were announced.
All right.
Tonight, the rookie of the year was announced. So Nick Kurtz from the A's, 36 home runs, 86 RBIs. He had a great year for them. And then the National League, I saw it was Drake Baldwin, the catcher with the Braves. Had 80 RBIs, 39 extra base hits. It's too bad. Roman Anthony, man. The Sox didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
They were 40.
But isn't that the curse?
40 and 26 in the games that he played in. They were on their way.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Well, good stuff.
Heartbreakers.
But
his sister's hot.
Leah. Manager of the year will be announced, I think, tomorrow, and followed by Cy Young and the MVP after that all week long. So.
Nice. Good stuff. Well, we've kept him waiting long enough. We apologize, Brock.
Yeah, right.
But he is our special guest this week. He's a two-time Cy Young winner in the Boston Metro Baseball League, 2024 28-plus champion. He pitched for the Cape Cod, for the Chatham A's in the Cape Cod League, also played in the Frontier League, so definitely has some pro ball experience. He can still throw close to 90 because I got to ump one of his games in the Field of Screams contest a couple weekends ago. He is our special guest this week, and I think it's time to bring him in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Mr. Brock Riley.
Hey, how we doing, everybody?
Hey, bud.
What's up, Brock?
Welcome
Not
to the
too
show,
much.
buddy.
Dan, Gibbs, and thanks for having me.
Sorry
love you
to
guys
keep
this
you
show,
waiting.
So good to be here.
Thanks.
No, it's all right.
Were you fixing any games back when you were playing with the Chatham A's? I don't
Not
even
with
know
the
if you've been
Chatham
on those
A's.
games.
No, not in that game. I took a bet to lose that game against the Senators in the 12th inning against the guys.
That's
big
good
on
that
that
explains it. That explains it.
Zing.
Nice. Yeah, we'll get into that series. That was incredible. But
Yeah,
if
that
you
was an
could,
interesting conversation. Before this, I think all that stuff is crazy with all the gambling, everything. I'm not
nuts,
a huge fan of it myself, but one line I always liked was don't risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't need. I think those guys could use that advice. Seems like they're playing with fire for really no reason.
Yep.
Yeah, Brock, I'm interested. Any of those coaches ever kind of say anything to you guys before the season started about kind of laying away from that stuff that you may get, a whisper about doing something that it just isn't worth it?
I think a lot of the teams I've been on, I think guys all trust each other and knew that guys weren't really getting into any of that. So it was never really a problem when I was playing, but I'm sure it is in some clubhouses. Who knows with some of the characters that are on some of these teams. But luckily for me, it was never a problem with any of the guys I was around.
Nice. Sorry.
You guys just got told to stay away from the girls on the Cape.
Yeah, the Cape was a good time. I was lucky that I had my fiance who, was my high school sweetheart, and I was with her even when I was down at the Cape. So I didn't really have to worry about any of that. But definitely a lot of attention down on the Cape for sure. There was no shortage of good stories there. And I know you said you used to watch, Brewster games back in the day, and so
I used to
sure there's plenty of good
chase
players, but
Brewster Whitecaps around in my teens and early 20s. We had a great time.
yeah, there was definitely a lot of girls on vacation down there, but wasn't my cup of tea. But some other guys got some good stories I'll never tell. So
oh yeah, same.
Yeah, I tried getting it out of him before, and he's bringing it to his grave with them, unfortunately. But
I had a
true.
friend on the Cape who got a retro NDA from someone who shall never ever be named because I'm not supposed to know. which was amazing because I was like, how come I didn't ever get with anybody who wanted to send me an NDA? I got all the guys who I was into
fantastic.
catchers.
That's so funny.
Not a lot of them. Yeah, it's all right. But anyways, I got a couple jerseys in my youth.
That's
Souvenirs.
awesome. Love that.
Souvenirs. Yeah.
So, Brock, if you could please give us your background. I know you played the Chatham A's, like we just said, and you're pretty close. I know you're a pretty big prospect back in the day. But yeah, if you could just go over your baseball experience and how you got to start playing amateur ball a couple of years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know at one point in time, Dan, me and you had a great episode that is still out there in the wild. So I know we dive.
It is.
Yeah, we
former
dived into
podcast.
pretty good depth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we dive into good depth in that one as well. So that one's out there if anyone wants to see. We really get in depth in that one. And if anyone wants me to, dive further into anything here as well, I'll do that. But yeah, briefly, I'm from Lowell, Massachusetts. Played at Lowell High School. When I went to college, bounced around a little bit in college. Played at Franklin Pierce for a little bit. Was surrounded by a lot of really good players. Wasn't really playing a lot. Didn't really deserve to either. I needed to get better. I was a young guy. Ended up transferring to UMaine after our coaching staff left Franklin Pierce. With my luck, I was there for a few months, and the coaching staff at Maine left as well halfway through my first year there. And when that was all happening, there was no such thing as a transfer portal. That wasn't a thing. You couldn't transfer from D1 to D1. Everything's just a transfer fest these days. You can go wherever you want. So I had to go down to D3 or else I would have had to sit out again. So that's what brought me to Salem State University. So played a couple of years there. Then I played pro for a few years. Before playing pro, of course, I played in the summer circuit, like you mentioned, Dan. Played in the Cape Cod League, the Futures League, the New England College Baseball League. So I was really fortunate. I got to play in all of the best and biggest college summer leagues in the country. So a lot of really great competition, good experiences, tons of travel, made lots of friends. And after after pro ball, decided to get into coaching. So I ended up being an assistant pitching coach / bullpen coach with the Chatham A's, who I played for in 2018. So I went back to be a pitching coach in 2023. And then that fall, I was a bullpen coach for the Great Britain national team as well. And then decided to get into amateur baseball in 2024. So I've been doing that the past 2 years.
Yeah, I see the sweatshirt, the Great Britain sweatshirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Got to represent. Yeah, they're all great guys over there. Great team. Keep an eye on them at the World Baseball Classic. They'll be bringing a good squad, and get Harry Ford as a catcher on the Mariners now. A bunch of other really good players. So they're legit, and a couple other big names that I think will be joining the team that can't fully say yet, but there will be some big names. Yeah, that I think are joining
those
the squad.
NDAs.
I think there's a few big names joining the squad that's not public information yet. So
Brock's really good at
awesome.
keeping secrets. He's very good at keeping secrets. I tried getting out of him in the last show, but didn't luck. But I found a picture of you. This was with Team Great Britain after you guys won the silver medal.
Yeah,
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Great
That is
memory.
awesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where was
What?
that at, Brock?
That was in the Czech Republic. So that was the Czech Republic. I think that was in Brno, a city called Brno. That's where the finals took place.
Mm-hmm.
We made it to the gold medal game, and we ended up losing to Spain in the gold medal game. It was a great game, and by the time we got to that game, we were undefeated. So we're on a hot streak. Tournament baseball is hard. Baseball in general is hard, but tournament baseball can be a different breed of difficult because you guys make one mistake or you lose one game and you're essentially out. So,
Right.
you got to be pretty perfect on the way there. You got to, sometimes you got to burn some of your best pieces early on just to survive in advance. So, we were pretty thinned out when we got to the gold medal game. It's no excuse. It's just a fact, right? Every team's pretty light by the time you get there. We kind of just fell short. We're really close, and we're running low on arms. We still have great players out there, but guys are tired. We're running a little thin, and we just fell short. And that was tough when all the gold confetti is raining down on you, and you got to watch the other team celebrate. But it was still a great ending and a huge achievement for the program, and for all of us as a coaching staff and players. It was so cool and a great experience getting to go to Turkey, Czech Republic, and do all these different things. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you get associated with Great Britain of all countries?
Yeah, so it's funny because in 2020 or in 2019, going back to when I was in the MLB draft, one of the scouts that really liked me, his name was Tucker Blair. I was staying in touch with him. He's from the Arizona Diamondbacks, really nice guy. He liked me a lot, and I ended up going undrafted that year. So he invited me to a couple of Diamondbacks workouts. Fast forward to spring of 2020, I went down there in like the middle of March 2020 to Scottsdale, did a workout with them. And while I was down there, he was like, "Hey, your last name's Riley. You must be like British and Irish, right?" I'm like, "Actually, yeah, like 100% actually, yeah." So he's like, "Yeah, if you can get your British passport, like, we can definitely talk about trying to get you on the team as a player." Come to find out, long story short, you need to be your grandparents or sooner who were born there
Hmm.
so that you can get citizenship because every
Hmm.
country has different rules with citizenship. So for Great Britain, it's grandparents or sooner. I didn't meet the eligibility. I think it's like my great great grandfather's from London.
Mm.
So ended up still staying in touch with them though throughout time. And then COVID hit, and a couple years go by and stuff, and ended up actually reaching out to Drew Spencer, the manager at the time. Amazing guy, one of my favorite people I've ever met in my life. Stayed in touch with him a little bit, and I just said, "Hey, if you guys ever need, a coach who has some playing experience at various levels, let me know. I'll be happy to interview for it." So interviewed with him and pitching coach Connor Brooks while I was coaching in the Cape Cod League. Connor and Drew were both Cape Cod League alumni as well. Drew Spencer played for the Orleans Firebirds, and Connor played for Hyannis. So we really hit it off over that. And once they saw that I was serious about coaching and was a serious player, they said, "Hey, want to come to the Czech Republic in the fall?" And I'm like, "Yeah, well, let's do it." And they're like, "All right, you're in." And that's how I ended up with Team Great Britain. So I'm not with them full time or anything. There's plenty of coaches that will, be with them on and off. And I live all the way in the States, but they know they can call me anytime if they need me to come join them.
And I know Ethan
That's awesome.
Solomon was pitching with them, right? Who plays in our 38 plus division. Is he still pitching for them?
Yeah, Ethan's a great guy. Yeah, me and him hit it off because we're like, "Hey, two New England guys here, all the way out in the middle of Eastern Europe." But
Yeah, right.
yeah, he I don't think he was on the 2025 European Championship roster. I don't believe, if I'm not mistaken, but he was on the 2023 roster when I was out there. So that was
Right.
that was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, I remember he had to miss some games a couple years ago because he was playing in that tournament. I was like, wow, this guy's better than I better than I thought.
Yeah,
Pretty
he still
awesome.
got it. Yeah,
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah, he does.
yeah, yeah. He's
So
awesome.
so at some point you had to make the decision to go and play D3, right? You were playing D1, you weren't getting all the playing time that you were hoping for, and you made the decision to go the D3 route. Uh, and you said it was the best thing you ever did, a blessing in disguise. Can you kind of talk about that transition?
Yeah, for sure. Like I briefly touched on, like when I was at Franklin Pierce, I wasn't really playing a lot, and again, didn't really deserve to. Our team's my freshman year was our team was 48-2. We're the number one Division II team in the country.
Crazy.
Sophomore year, we're 46-4. Went to a World Series. I wasn't really playing a lot, and again, didn't deserve to. We had a ton of older, way better guys, tons of draft prospects. So as a younger guy, you get to just sit back and observe a lot. And it can be frustrating, sitting there not getting a lot of playing time. But I learned to, after that time, just work hard and just become a better player, a better teammate, things like that. And then after the experience at Maine didn't go perfectly planned, I'm like, oh man, I just need to get on the field, man. Like I just need to get out there and show people what I can do on the field. So I knew I had to go D3 or you would have had to sit out. That was the rules at the time when that happened in 2017. The rules are different now, but that was 2017. So it ended up being one of the best things ever because I had really supportive coaches. I was a little closer to home. I was with a fantastic group of guys, and I was able to just take everything I learned, all the failures I had, all the setbacks I had, ended up being some of the best things that ever happened to me. Because maybe if I didn't experience some of those setbacks, the desire that I have might not have been ignited or been there. So by the time I got to Salem State, I was the hungriest baseball player in the United States. I just wanted to play baseball. I was ready to go, and I was working my butt off. So that's why it ended up being one of the best things ever. And it definitely doesn't hurt that Salem is one of the funnest cities. I mean, even off the field, it was a blast. It was just so much fun, and it was the all around package. It was really good for me in a lot of ways.
And Brock, while you were at Salem, your velocity intensified, right? Like you got into the low 90s when you were at Salem, right, for the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like I hear this like this change in passion and this change in kind of like your reignited kind of sense of passion for baseball, it sounds like. And then at the same time, that's when you kind of started to become like a legit prospect, right? Like for the show. And what was changing in that for you? Was there a certain coach that maybe like helped you hit that point, or can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, that's a great question because there definitely, was a lot of that. So going into the fall of 2017, that's when I was trying to choose which school I wanted to go to. And that summer I was playing in the Futures League for the Wachusett Dirt Dogs. So we had a coach, Coach Dan Generelli, great guy. He's a Worcester firefighter. He played for the Red Sox back in the day. He's just like a tough old school type coach. And he was the guy who was like, listen, like he was just brutally honest with me and I needed that tough love. He's like, you know what? Like, you weren't playing at Franklin Pierce a lot because you weren't good enough. When you went to Maine, you made a mistake. Right now, you're not throwing hard enough to do anything. And you need to fix this, that. I mean, he just broke me down and tore me apart. And I needed that. He was doing that because he cared. That's the type of manager he was. So he helped me with a ton of things. And in just one summer, I went from like 84, 85 to 92 in one summer. And I swear that's a real story. You can ask anyone I played with that summer. He showed me how to change my grip on my fastball, and my velocity, went up overnight. And all of a sudden I was like sitting 91, 92 in games. I mean, it was crazy, and started getting attention from scouts that summer in the Futures League. And yeah, it was crazy. There was a really good story where one day in a bullpen, I was like throwing like 87, 88, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like finally got my velo up a little bit. That's cool. And he goes, how are you holding your fastball? And I was holding it like a changeup, like almost like a palm ball. He's like, dude, like, what are you doing? Are you an idiot? Like tuck your thumb.
Really? So you
hold the ball loose. Yeah.
That's how you're throwing a fastball?
Yeah, I was just.
So how are you throwing a changeup?
I think I was just gripping it like tighter. I didn't really know what I was doing. Like,
so that's how you thought.
Like,
so that's how
yeah. Well, when you're a younger guy, it's like funny.
Wow.
You just,
you never had a coach that corrected that.
Not entirely. No, wow. I think. Yeah.
Were you always a pitcher though, Brock?
No. So I think that's the other part of the story is I was always a good shortstop in high school and third baseman. I like to hit a lot, and then I didn't really start primarily becoming a pitcher until senior year. So I didn't really have like a ton of experience being like a pitcher only. I mean, I always had a good arm and had the arm for it. I knew I would pitch in college, but I was still young. I was, when 19, 20, 21 years old, like you're still figuring it out. And didn't really have anyone in my family who played sports or played at a high level at least. So no one showed me anything. So he's like, dude, just like do this, like tuck your thumb, and you should hold the ball so lightly that I should be able to just like take it out of your hand. And instantly in that one bullpen, went right to 92 in that one bullpen, and the whole bullpen.
Like, why didn't I do this a long time ago?
Yeah, they're all giving me crap for it the rest of the summer, and they're like, what the heck, dude? Like, you just did that by making one adjustment. So yeah, to answer your question, Dan Generelli, he transformed my game in one summer, and that was really meaningful, and that made me start turning into a pro prospect. And then when Coach Al Donovan at Salem State took me in, he treated me like a son, and he showed me a lot of tough love too, just like Coach Generelli, but he really encouraged me, believed in me, and it felt good to play for, a coach that really wanted me. So that helped take my game to the next level after being away from the field for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
So the good news is you didn't have to work on your changeup after that, right? Which
there's always a lot of work to do. I definitely had to work on everything as I was getting better, but that funny enough, that's probably my best pitch is my changeup. I did end up learning how to throw a pretty good one. I had, different guys I played with and different coaches and, different off-season trainers. We you get in the lab and you start working with like TrackMan and all that stuff, and learning from other guys. We had this one guy, Kevin McGowan, who played for the Mets, who played at Franklin Pierce, and we trained at the same facility in Nashua, and he was showing me how to throw a better changeup, and you start picking things up here and there. And so you just try to observe as much as you can. Just always be a student, because you can always get your pitches and everything better. So everything just kind of all started finally coming together as I was in like my early 20s.
And was there a point where you felt like you were going to be drafted, that you felt that, the eyes were on you and you had a legit shot?
Yeah, for sure. During my junior year, so that first year that I was at Salem State, because I was there for just my junior year and my senior year. It all happened really quickly. Because again, I went from not playing a lot to then getting a little
Right.
bit better in the futures that summer, and then that spring at Salem State. I think a lot of the scouts started to hear that there was a kid, throwing, hitting 93 at Salem State in 20
In
degree weather.
D3, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
literally
crazy.
20-degree weather and
Yeah.
hitting that. So that started getting a lot of attention, and you start seeing some scouts creeping into games. You start seeing them wearing their black vests, wearing their Colorado Rockies backpacks and Angel stuff and Yankee stuff and whatever. And you're like, oh crap, like they're there to see me. Like they're videotaping me playing catch and doing yoga in the outfield. Like what the heck? So I'm like, who's this creep?
Barefooted.
But yeah, it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
But and they start, they started showing up in bigger and bigger groups, and that started to become pretty interesting. I could tell that I was being watched. And then after that spring, Baseball America ranked me as the number 11 MLB draft prospect for Massachusetts for the
Yeah.
MLB draft. So that was pretty cool. So once you start seeing some of those rankings and you start getting questionnaires from teams and stuff like that, it's like, oh man, this is real. Like it's kind of crazy.
So what
Also-
happened from? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, you.
I was gonna say it also just comes with a lot of pressure. Like, how did
Yeah.
you kind of
Yeah.
deal with all that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because like at different times there definitely was pressure. Like, but I feel like anyone who says they like never feel that is just not being totally honest. There was definitely times where I was like, if I was in a tough spot in a game and I knew scouts are watching, and I'm like, oh man, like just let up like a gap shot and then walked again. Like there definitely is times where like you're not having your best stuff and you're like, oh damn, like and you start feeling some of that pressure, but that's also kind of where you can show what you can do too, is show them you can get out of those spots, get out of those jams. So there definitely is pressure to perform for sure, because that you're one mistake or a bad pitch away from them packing up their stuff and walking out, and that's happened too. I've seen scouts, maybe I let up a bad hit or threw a bad pitch or was having a tough inning, and I've seen a guy or two walk out, and yeah, that is discouraging for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be so tough at that age too, because it's like, well, do I focus on? Oh, sorry, wrong thing.
Just kidding.
Show's not over yet.
Kicking me out.
Quickest show ever.
Because it's got to be like crazy. It's like, do I focus all my efforts into baseball, or do I focus into finding a career? What did you what were you majoring in, by the way?
Yeah, so I majored in history. So it was pretty fun to
History.
be a history major in Salem, Massachusetts. That was cool. Getting to go to all the different like witch stuff and
Yeah.
super cool. Yeah, I majored in history, and then after baseball, and we can get into this later if you want to, but yeah, I ended up getting into finance. So I'm a stockbroker and investment advisor at Fidelity now. So
Right.
don't exactly work in history, but I definitely feel like that degree of like doing research and attention to detail, I think still serves me today. I'm still glad that I did that.
Yeah, history was not one of my finer subjects.
I was in a book looking at stats.
No, I loved history.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. Especially
Yeah.
baseball history.
I love baseball history. Yeah, I'm a junkie. I'm a junkie just like
I'm
you
with ya.
guys. Yeah.
Totally.
So
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, the pressure, yeah, it was there sometimes, and you just slowly learn to just as you mature and you get a little bit used to it. You do kind of get used to it, right? Like you do just start getting used to seeing those things and dealing with it. And, you talk to other people that are in the same boat, guys I played with. I mean, when I played in Chatham, I was teammates with guys like, Spencer Torkelson and Alec Manoa, Blake Sable, Michael Butt, all these guys that I've talked about, before. And, you just stay in touch with those guys. They're going through some of the same things. So, you talk to people that are living in that same world as you, and you just start to learn to deal with it and stuff. But yeah, it is hard, especially at that age.
yeah, and being a right-hander too. I know nowadays, throwing low to mid 90s is nothing, especially for a right-hander. So I'm sure there were some days you're like, damn, why can't I just be left-handed? Because I mean, if you can throw 90
Yeah.
left-handed, you have such a bigger advantage than you do as a right-hander, which is crazy. But So you were ranked 11th
Yeah.
in the state. So on draft day, were you, expecting to get picked up? What were your emotions, when that came and didn't come? Not to
Yeah,
bring
for
up,
sure. No, it's okay. I'm an open book. It's cool. So yeah, I mean, what helped separate me a little tiny bit was I was a guy that threw pretty much sidearm or a little bit above sidearm. I still kind of throw like that to this day. I'll switch up my arm angles and stuff. So that made me a little bit different than some of the other guys, and I thought that would help me. Um, for anyone who actually knows the MLB draft or has been through it themselves or pays attention to it, because a lot of people who don't know baseball don't really fully know this at all. People were surprised to find this out, but the MLB draft, especially when it was still a 40 round format, was a crapshoot. You had teams purposely wasting picks. I mean, they were getting compensated to waste picks. They were doing a lot of, favor picks. People like Johnny Manziel is getting drafted in like the 40th round. And, teams are making like joke picks. Ken Griffey Jr.'s son got drafted and hasn't even played baseball since T-ball. Like stupid stuff like that, like things that you tell people and they think that you're joking or you're not being for real. And you tell them, hey, Google's your friend, look it up, it's a real thing. Like,
That's crazy.
I know guys that never even talked to a team that ended up being what they call senior sign. They would get drafted in the first 10 rounds and get like $500 on a plane ticket. And then I knew guys like myself that were talking to multiple teams, and it wasn't like if I was going, it was where, even if it was later in the draft or mid draft, and then all of a sudden you just don't hear from anyone and you're not sure why, you don't even know what happened. So yeah, it's definitely a crapshoot. And at the end of that day, my junior year of draft day, I was like, okay, at least I know I can go back to school and I can, still play some summer ball. If I really want, I could even sign during the summer if I got an offer. I know some guys did that after junior year if they went unsigned. We had multiple guys in Chatham, leave during the summer when I was there. So it wasn't like the end of the world, but I was disappointed. I was kind of just like, that was weird. Like, okay, like definitely was expecting to get picked, but and then senior year, yeah, kind of same thing. I thought a team for sure was going to take a shot, and I heard from multiple teams that day. And the guy that I was staying in touch with, that was kind of acting as my agent that day, or advisor in 2019 words. I mean, we had interests, so I can't honestly say to this day I know what happened. I still don't really have an answer, but as Dan knows, I had no off-field issues, like no character concerns, nothing. So I honestly don't know what happened. I'm not sure.
Damn, Brock, that's a mind fuck, buddy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But and not to make this sunshines and roses, because that's not what I'm trying to do. But do you ever kind of think like, maybe I'm actually lucky? And I know that this sounds weird, but I'm listening to you talk about the stress. I'm listening to you talk about like the one pitch could make or break kind of what you're doing, like that level, that stressful level that you have to live at as a professional athlete all the time. I don't know. I love the game. I don't know if I could handle that level of stress in my life. And I don't know, is that something that you felt you were able to build up, or do you ever think like, wow, yeah, I don't know that?
No, and it's a good question, but I did feel like I was well equipped for it and could handle it. I definitely, felt like I could handle the stress and the pressure, and I still do. I still feel, like it doesn't really bother me when I'm out there playing and stuff. I mean, you guys see, I'm really competitive, and I love being that way. So yeah, I was ready to live it and continue living it. I loved it. I loved, being out there and competing with my teammates and traveling and being under pressure. It was kind of where I thrived. But I get where your question comes from. It definitely is like a stressful lifestyle, and there were absolutely times where it does get to you for sure. So I would have preferred to get drafted, right? I mean, you try to practice that thing called preferred indifference, right? It's like I would have preferred to get drafted, but I know my life was still fine, without it. I still went on to play professionally, and you just find other ways, right? Like the obstacle is the way. You just you let that fuel you in different ways. And to your point, I probably played longer and had more desire to continue playing because of that setbacks. It was, those things happened to me, and I was like, you know what, baseball world, F you, I'm going to keep playing. Now I'm just going to double down and just keep playing longer and play harder and just keep doing it. So
yeah, because a lot of
I'm never
players
gonna stop doing
sometimes they go the opposite route. They're so frustrated that they never want to be around baseball ever again. But I actually found some video of you pitching at Salem State. There's tons of video out there. I'm not sure if you know this, but yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah, much rather ump than hit.
I'm just glad that didn't go 450 dead center.
Yeah, I don't think they would have put that video clip up.
That was I remember that game. I think that was against Bates, I believe. It had to have been like literally 20, 25 degrees. It was freezing. That was like a February or March game. Yeah, that was cold. That was really cold.
So speaking of which,
It looks it.
we just had the Field of Screams tournament, and Brock is scheduled to pitch the championship game. He's like, "Oh, I don't know how I'm going to do. I'm going to be shit today. I just played 4 softball games. It's cold out." And then he proceeded to throw 90 and strike out 14 guys and win the championship.
No big deal.
No big deal.
What of it?
Yeah. Well, thanks, Dan. Well, you called a great game. Yeah, Dan was behind the plate.
That was the difference, right?
Did a great job. I mean, if we lost the game, it would have been Dan's fault. But no, Dan did a great job. I don't think you missed a single call, and I'm not even just saying that. Like I said that to you.
Thanks, buddy.
At the banquet too. You called a great game. I know both sides thought so. So hopefully, I made your job a little easier. I hope you enjoyed it.
You did. Yeah, it was the second time I got to ump your game at that field, right? It was
Kissing up for later games.
Yeah, yeah, right. Well, unfortunately, I can't ump in the 28th, so it's Gibbs asked. You gotta kiss.
Yeah.
As long as I'm on the roster.
I got to do one for him at Ingleside one hot July night.
Nice.
Mid-afternoon. You threw a gem. Yeah, I think you had like 9 or 10 Ks.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, I remember you were behind the dish. Yeah, you guys do a great job, man. It was, it's always a pleasure having you guys back there. You guys were great. So hopefully we gave you guys a good game. But the Field of Screams was fun. As you know, I just like playing. Like, I don't really care where it is or what tournament it is. I don't care. Like, I just want to play. If there's an opportunity to, take the rock and throw on a jersey, I'll go out there and, play 7 days a week. So it was just fun to play in all those tournaments and just be at the field. Better than sitting at home doing nothing.
Brock, can I ask you the $1 million question?
Sure.
Is the dream dead, or do you still have some like desire to go after it?
Yeah, there's definitely desire there. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely heard from teams. A lot of people say like, "Hey, your career's over when the phone stops ringing." I've definitely been fortunate. The phone didn't really stop ringing quite yet, and it will someday, right? Father Time, gets us all at some point. But yeah, I mean, I still get, contacted by teams who, want me to come out and throw for them or throw a bullpen for them and, try to make their roster. I know Dan wanted to ask, which teams I was talking to and stuff. So yeah, I mean, the Brockton Rocks offered me a contract for next year.
Oh, wow.
I was staying in touch with them. So, they want me to come out, to camp next year and stuff and offered me a contract, formally last week.
Awesome,
so I was kind of I was like, I definitely gotta, think about if all that makes sense and, if I'm healthy and if the opportunity is right and, if finances are in order, cause it is a grind. So, I'm not like, all in on one thing or another. It's just, we just think about things as time goes on and, the ability is there, the desire is there, but sometimes you got to make adult decisions too. So, you just got to see if it makes sense.
What did Mark say? Signed a Q. I'm sure.
Signed a DNA.
I'm sure Mark is trying to push you.
The thing with Mark
Cebulski
is he never spells anything right. I roast him all the time in our group chats. I don't think I've ever seen him write out a sentence where there wasn't a typo. So he probably meant to write like
he's consistent.
I signed like a 40-year deal or something with the Angels. So yeah, he's consistent at least. So yeah.
So speaking of Mark, so. He's the one that basically got you back into baseball. I know you had been out for a couple of years, right? And he reached out. Did you know him prior to, or did he somehow get your name through a friend, or how did that contact come about? Yeah,
so I've known Mark for quite a bit of time. So in 2017, that same summer I was referring to earlier when I was playing with the Dirt Dogs, I had a good friend in high school, Joe Parisi, who was playing on, Mark used to play in a league that was in Lowell, just like a smaller league. I think it was called the Cable League.
Yeah, the Cable,
Yeah, and there was a night where I had an off night from the Dirt Dogs. I mean, when you're playing summer ball, you get like 3, 4 off days in like a whole like 4 or 5 month season.
Wow.
So we had like an off day, and my friend was like, and I was just hanging around, and he's like, "Oh, dude, come play some men's league baseball with us. It'll be fun. Like, just come play some like first base and take some swings, like, and see all the guys." So I got to go there and see some of my buddies. So that was when I met Mark, and Mark's like, "Yeah, dude, come play with us anytime."
And you're
I
allowed
was
to do
friends with
that?
him ever since.
You were allowed to do that?
I think at the time, because it was like it was a non-NCAA league. It was, it was seen as a men's league because it was just like a local men's league. So I don't think it was a big deal that I was like there playing first base. I wasn't
He
like
wasn't
pitching or
betting
anything.
on the game, Dan.
Yeah. Ben,
Or
James
maybe he
pulls up
was.
like the DraftKings receipts.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
no, it was just like a men's league, right? So it like wasn't against contract or anything. You can't play in any other like NCAA leagues. Would they have been happy if they knew I was there playing that night? Probably not, to answer your question. But I really wasn't like pitching or anything. I was just screwing around, taking at bats. But yeah, I had fun there, and I stayed in touch with Mark since then, and he was very supportive of my career, like always rooting for me in college. And I knew he was good friends with a lot of my buddies. Sometimes in the baseball off seasons, I would, because in between like summer ball and fall ball, I'd come play for some of his teams just for fun. And again, like play first base, maybe throw like a few innings as a bullpen. So just kind of stayed in touch with Mark over the different years. So I've known him since 2017, and I'm a Lowell guy myself. I'm born and raised in Lowell, so I'm definitely not like a ringer or anything for the Lowell Angels. I'm Lowell, I'm homegrown. So yeah, I've known Mark for quite a while.
Your first year with the Angels was last year, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So did you know anything about our league prior to that?
Yeah, I knew about the Boston Metro League, and I knew it had a great reputation and that there was a lot of good teams, and a lot of my friends played in the league and wanted to play in the league. So I knew Mark had talked about for a couple of years wanting to join the Boston Metro League. He had told me about it. So that's how I started to get to know the league. And I think he played 1 or 2 years before I joined. I can't remember. It might have been 1. I think he might have played 2023 with the Angels in that league. So I knew it was a great league, and a lot of my friends loved it. So that's what I knew of the league. And then when I got there, I was very impressed. I think everyone knows I love the Boston Metro League. I've had a lot of fun there. So yeah, it's awesome. It lived up to its reputation for sure.
Well, and your first year there was absolutely sick, right?
Yeah, it was a good year. Yeah, it was a good year.
It was a good year. You won the Cy Young, right? The first year? Yeah. So you were 7-1. You won the Cy Young. Yeah. And Rookie of the Year. And you led the division in wins. And I mean, what did it mean to you to win that kind of award after all of that success with the team and the league that season? Did it feel invigorating or re-inspiring at all?
And not thinking you're going to play baseball again.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And just to like take one step back and touch on that real quick, Dan. And I know I've shared this with different people before, but yeah, at the beginning of 2024, I was looking for, MLB jobs after coaching with Team Great Britain and Chatham in 2023. So throughout the early months of 2024, I wanted to, maybe still try to get an MLB coaching job, but I also did have a job lined up at Fidelity. So I was kind of, going in between what I wanted to do. And my stepdad, who I was really close to, he passed away unexpectedly. So that was really difficult for me. And I was like,
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And I was at the time, that stuff's hard. And I know I don't need to do a deep dive into, all that right now. But like, I was like,
we can off, and I'm $250 an hour. So just so you know. Just stay on the call after. Just stay on after.
Well, thanks, Ange. Well,
Thanks,
yeah.
Ange.
So that year, I was like, I don't know if I'm even gonna like play or try to coach now. I think I just need to like focus on my job and just, just kind of get some things in order, just like anybody would when they have a lot going on in their personal life. And then Mark was, the one who, stayed on me and was like, hey man, like just go out and play. Like the boys want you out here. We want to support you. I mean, Mark is such a great friend and he's so supportive. He's a great guy. So he was one of those guys that, had to come drag me out of my house and be like, yeah, you're putting the cleats on, you're putting a jersey on, like, let's go. Like you're meeting me at the field and you're throwing a bullpen to Ben Buxton. So I met Ben for the first time and And Ben, anyone who knows Ben,
Ben's great.
scrappy. Yeah, he's awesome. Just a scrappy, awesome guy, great teammate. And he just throws on the gear. He's like, all right, throw it at me. I don't care. And then he's like, you're kind of good. Like you should play with us. So it was just funny. Like, those guys, they basically dragged me out of the house. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll play. Like, whatever. Like I need something to do. And it ended up being the best outlet in the world for me. So, it was a very positive thing for me. And I was like, hey, with this being one of the only positive things in my life, I'm going to go, balls to the wall here and work really hard, get back in the weight room. And it might feel really good to work hard at something that's very difficult. Again, that might give me a lot of meaning and purpose. And it did. So yeah, to answer your question, it felt good to win that, win the award and stuff. You always, I think when people are being overly humble, they'll say those things don't matter, but to be honest, like it is fun to win things, right? You go out there because you want to compete, you want to win, and those awards are voted on by your peers. So I definitely don't want to put down the fact that other people, that was, it was very nice of them to show me respect and vote for me, and I really appreciate that. So it was fun to win those, win that award and stuff, but you never want those individual awards to diminish what you're trying to accomplish as a team. So, the best award was winning the championship and sharing that with, all my brothers out there. That was the best thing.
Yep, which is what I was going to get to next. Not only did you win Cy Young, but your first year, some of us here, perhaps, one of the co-hosts of this show, spent many years chasing that title. And you won yours in your first year after winning Cy Young. That team was something special. You guys went 7-0 in the postseason. You took out our Senators team, the Bombers, I think the Spinners, 3 of the top teams in the league. How do you describe like that season and that team and what you guys accomplished that year?
Yeah, it was crazy. It's hard to find words to describe it because the teams that we beat were really good, right? The Senators were really good. The Bombers were outstanding. They always are. The Spinners are such a good team. And, I think it's funny because the 7-0 record, I think it's a sexy headline and it makes you think that we just like steamrolled through the playoffs. And it was anything but that. Almost every game was like a 1-run game. It was just one of those weird years where like, the hand of fate just kept coming out and making us win the game. It was crazy. So everything went our way, like every close play, every crazy thing you can think of, like every timely hit, just everything went our way. And anyone who plays baseball knows that that's really rare. I think we've all been on a lot of teams where nothing goes your way or things don't go your way at the right time. And we got very lucky, very fortunate. We did also have to earn it, right? It wasn't only luck. You still do go out there and you play hard and you earn it. But it was just like surreal. Like every time we needed the other team to make a big mistake, like they did, and we capitalized, or anytime we needed a big play or a big hit, or like it was just crazy. We got it every time. And we were really fortunate and we beat a ton of really good teams. So we earned it, but it was a lot harder than, the 7-0 headline makes it seem.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I don't know.
Still pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I feel like steamrolling a bunch of teams like is nothing, but playing hard and having to use your kind of baseball IQ, not just your kind of athleticism, is almost more impactful as a winning team. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, sometimes the baseball gods do give us, sun in somebody's eyes, totally. But I think that with that record, that's so much more. I think when you see those teams with that chemistry, and I think about the 2004 Sox, when you see a team with that chemistry, it was just that they worked so effing well together that no matter what the play was, they had each other. They just knew each other instinctually. And there was this sort of like nonverbal communication that would happen on the field. And I think that wins like this, teams like this, like that's an X factor.
Yeah, for sure. That's really how we were. Just a super tight knit group of guys that we trusted each other to get it done, right? Like no matter who we gave the ball to, we knew that person was going to get it done. We felt good about it. Speaking of X factor, we do have a guy we call X, Xavier Nunez, and he steps up big every time. He's our big poppy. We got guys like Nick Godfrey, and I mean, I say this all the time, but I could always name everybody once I start naming names because everyone plays a role. It's like we really lived the Patriots motto of do your job. Everyone embraced what their role was, big or small, and everyone did their job and trusted each other, and it was really cool. And a lot of us had difficult things going on in our lives that year too, so it felt like meaningful to have a bright spot in some of our lives. It was really cool.
And big plays, Brock. Like, it's something I always wanted to ask you, but in a couple of key moments in games from that playoff run, you were pitching and you busted out once against the Senators and then once against the Spinners. I think both to end game, this patent inside move, pickoff move to second, your inside move, pickoff to second base to basically catch some guys stealing or getting too big a lead. Really, I want to know, how did you develop this, or when did you start pulling this move out? Because I've gone back and watched multiple times. Like, it's an impressive move, man. For not to get a call to balk, which I don't think it is. I've watched.
I was just
gonna say
I call it a balk.
It's definitely borderline.
I call it a balk.
It's definitely borderline.
It is very borderline.
Yeah,
I'd love to see it myself, but I mean, it ended 2 games. Where did you learn that one, bud?
Yeah, I just emailed you the NDA, just get that signed. No, like you guys said, it definitely is borderline, and I know that, but it's not a balk, right? At the end of the day, it's not. But even though it's very close, if you mess it up, it's a balk. If you mess it up,
pulled it off in the field of screams too.
Yeah, we got a guy pretty good at the field of screams. Guy got on second base, and I didn't like that, so I said to Daniel, "Let's get him." So, but yeah, we got a guy against the. we got a guy against the Senators in that first round in 2024. That
was a killer.
And then that was a killer because I think
both
that might
of
have
them
been time
Spinners
run.
too. Yeah, that was
both of them. Yeah,
last inning.
Yeah, in the final inning of the Spinners game, I think that was also the time run on second base with 1 out. So we picked that guy off and then struck out that guy at the end. And but it goes to show you how close those games were, right? Like, you make one mistake or let up one more hit and it's a tie. So those pickoffs are a big deal. You got to get it done. And to answer your question, where I really did learn it was when I was at Franklin Pierce. So when I was at Franklin Pierce, we had a ton of guys that would practice that move. We had a coach, Jason King, there. Really strict, tough baseball coach, really knowledgeable. He knew his stuff, and that's why he always had great programs. And we just did the fundamentals right. Little things like that don't seem like a big deal. Like we all just talked about, it's a huge deal, right? You have a championship on the line and you pick off a guy like that kills all the momentum for some of those guys. I was able to use that move a ton in summer ball, and that was awesome. So I learned it from a lot of the older guys at Franklin Pierce. The coaches would teach us how to do it. We would practice it like crazy. We would take a half hour.
You can
sometimes.
tell.
We would take a half hour a week sometimes and just practice pickoffs. Like, we got really good at it, and now it's just it's like second nature. I can do that move in a way that.
About it.
Yeah, for sure. I can do that move, and it's not in a way that is not a balk, that I can still get away with it. But I also got to know the timing too, right? Like, you can't just constantly throw it around.
First inning. Yeah, right.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's times I do it that it doesn't work, but a lot of times in the biggest spots it does work, because it's funny. I always tell people some of the best base runners will actually be the times when it's a little bit easier to pick a guy off, and I don't mean that in haha, I picked him off. I mean that as in, like, good base runners, they're being aggressive. They're ready to go. They're trying to find a reason to run and time things up. And so if you catch them at just the right time and you're able to trick them, those are the guys that are going to be the furthest off the bag, and you can catch them. It's some of the slower guys and stuff that you're actually, ironically, never going to pick off, because they're not getting very far off the bag. So, so yeah, I learned it at Franklin Pierce from a lot of guys I played with. And I just kept practicing it and stuck with it, and it's useful, right? It's not a secret. It's a thing other people do too. But if you can perfect it, it's effective.
Me and Harvey had a pretty good one back in the day, didn't we?
Yeah, Harvey
wasn't as good as that one, but
it's very deceiving, because it looks like you're going forward. It's like an illusion. I was trying to find video of it, but no luck. But yeah, it's very.
I'll never
deceptive.
let anyone videotepe that.
It's out
Please
there.
don't pull it
Until
out
you're
when
in the
we're on
show,
film, right?
and then that's going to be on a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have called a balk just
Just for funsies.
just to fuck with them.
Yeah, just cash in on your bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will there be a pickoff play?
Yeah, the over/under for Bucks.
Yeah. He's gonna balk at least once. I bet money on
it.
So then, fast forward to 2025, this past year or season, and we faced you guys again, third year in a row. I know you weren't around 3 years ago, but it was the third straight season facing you guys in the playoffs. This season it was in the semifinals, and that was absolute battle with the Angels and the Senators. So we beat you guys 2023. You beat us 2024, and then we met for the third time this season. And that was a battle. Ended up going to series deciding Game 3, and Gib was one of the people live streaming. Also, one of the people who, like me, thought the game was never going to end. Ended up going 12 innings. You pitched all 12 innings, technically 11. What was I mean, how did you do that, first off? And how many more innings do you think you would have went in that game? It was one of the better games that I've seen and been a part of.
Would you have pitched 18 innings?
100%.
Yeah, I know.
All of
Of course
them.
you would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. I was. Yeah, I mean, I'm very competitive. I'm a guy that, I hate hitters. I hate bullpens. I wasn't coming out of that game. I didn't care if I had to die out there. And we
What
were
are you
also
doing in
pretty short.
October?
I know. I wanted to play the 100-inning game. Yeah, I wasn't around that day. So yeah, we'll have to talk about that in the future, because I do want to do it. I do want to do it, and I will when I'm around. But yeah, for that game, it was like we used up a lot of our arms. Like Nick and Johnny and a couple other guys were, they already used that series and they did their jobs, and our season was kind of just riding on my arm at that point. So I knew that I needed to get it done. And, we were on a roll. We were playing a good game. Both teams were. And I think the pitch count was a little bit more efficient than you hear 12 innings and you're like, oh, are you crazy? You're going to blow your arm out. But the pitch count wasn't really insanely high for that point in time. And another thing too is, I kind of just black out like when I'm playing. And I mean that in a good way. Like I just was like really in the zone. I kind of just black out and I'm just out there, the adrenaline's pumping and I'm just in the zone. Like there was no one taking me out of that game. You would have had to rip the jersey off my back to get me out of there, or I was leaving that place in an ambulance. I didn't really care either way. But I wasn't coming out of that game, even if we had to lose. So unfortunately, you don't always win, and we ended up, losing in the 12th inning. But and I was tired. It was a hard game, but I would have kept going if I needed to. Baseball's a pill sport. You just pop some ibuprofen and you get your butt back out there. So I was just kind of living by that night. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say how I was like feeling mentally. I just kind of like was blacked out and just trying to like get it done. And the adrenaline was just the adrenaline was crazy all night.
Yeah, and I think we were close to curfew time.
I was pushing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brock, you know what I remember? Almost every single hitter, you started off with strike one. Almost every single hitter, strike one.
Yep.
And that was the entire game, which I think helped keep that pitch count low. But man, dude, you were a baller that night. It was one of the best games, and I didn't even play. One of the best games I've ever seen, hands down.
It sucked that someone had to lose. It sucked that someone had to lose that game. But yeah, it was awesome. It brought me back to like my high school days, even earlier than that. Yeah, you just felt it in your bones. It was awesome to be a part of.
Yeah, no, and I really appreciate that. And from you guys, that's super high praise, because I know you guys have been around a lot of baseball, so I appreciate that, Gibbs. Yeah, it was one of those things too, where as a pitcher, like you got to learn to be a pitcher and not just a thrower, right? Being a huge part of being a pitcher is, getting up ahead in the counts early. You need to throw strikes, and you need to throw effective strikes, not just throwing a ball down the middle of the plate, right? Like you got to be able to steal strikes. You got to be able to throw your slider for strikes, first pitch strikes. You got to be able to get swings and misses. You got to be able to pitch guys backwards and have it be effective. So that was something that I did a good job of that night.
And Brock, what's your relationship like with your catcher? How do you treat your catcher? Because I think that there are some pitchers who will wave
Benny
off
boy.
their catchers, and I think that there are some pitchers who let their catchers call the game. What do you find a blend in the middle? Do you talk it out? What's your strategy with that?
Ben Buxton.
Yeah, a lot of trust. That's what I would say. A lot of trust, right? Like, we have guys like Ben Buxton. Johnny caught some games too. Whenever we played in some tournaments, we had some guys catch with us that are with us, when they can. And we're really fortunate to have great catchers on our team. And Ben was catching that game. I'm pretty sure Ben caught in a game that morning. He caught like 9 innings, and then he caught 12 innings that night. He's a beast. He's just like a manly man stud. Like, he's that guy that, he could rip a tree out of the ground and then bench press it.
I feel like
awesome.
We need to rename this episode NDAs and a love letter to Ben.
Hey, Ben knows I got so much love for my catchers. Any pitcher knows you have to show so much love for your catchers.
He was wearing a T-shirt at the Field of Screams game. He was like just in a T-shirt. No undershirt. It was freezing out. I'm like, dude, this dude. He's awesome.
He's the best. And our relationship is, just a ton of trust, right? Like we talk strategy before every game. Like we know who we're facing. We come prepared. Like I'll study who we're facing and call me a hardo, but I am a hardo. I don't really care. I like to know who I'm facing. I like to be competitive. I like to try to win. So we'll talk about strategy, what we want to do that game. And we make it clear to each other, like, hey, if I'm going to shake, it's going to be because I'm feeling really sure about it. And if I'm wrong, I'll wear it. Like if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to say, hey, my bad, I'll wear it. But yeah, I'll usually trust what he calls. And if I waive it, then it's just because I'm really feeling something. So we trust each other a lot.
And by the way, how good was Mike Smith in that series?
Oh my God!
I know you came to hang out with us after the game, and you two were talking, and the envy you had for each other was just like unbelievable because you guys were obviously both at the pro level, and both of you guys were complimenting each other, and I was like, guys, go get a room, like. But it was.
There is nothing wrong with that.
But it was awesome. It was awesome to see two talented pitchers, ball players, just have such high praise for one another. It was cool, but yeah, he was unbelievable in that series and what he did.
Yeah, he's so good. And when we were talking that night, we were sharing some old war stories and stuff. But for anyone who doesn't know, he was a big leaguer, right? He's a great player, and and he's a really nice guy. He's a little older than me, and it was cool to have him talk to me, just kind of let me know, like, hey, like you're doing good, kid. Like it was kind of cool to hear that from him, and get to share some stories with him. And we're two guys that know what it's like to play at some of those upper levels and know how hard it is, and how you just have respect for anyone who takes their career to that level, because it is hard. So and I have that same tremendous respect for whether it's Mike or even when I see Teddy and some of these other guys. It's like, hey man, like you just respect those guys so much, because not only are they really good players and how hard their journeys must have been, like there's so much they put into it that people will never know about. And they're also really good guys too. Like those guys are always the first to come over and, shake my hand, tell me good job, like ask me how I'm doing. Like they're just really good guys. So, those guys are great ambassadors for the league. And, it was awesome getting to, kind of hang out with Mike Smith after that.
Yeah, and it's going to be incentive for you. He's 48 years old. You're 29. So to see him still doing it 19 years later, had to show you I can still do this for.
Yeah.
I don't know what he does. I don't know how he does it or how he stays in shape.
Yeah, I definitely got some big shoes to try to fill. That's for sure. He's he's a great player, and as I've told you about before, Dan, I love the grind of baseball. I love taking care of my body and hydrating right, eating right, nutrition, stretching, lifting, everything. Everyone knows that, I'm a baseball sicko with all of that. So if I can stay on top of that long enough to play as long as he did and does, and still play near that level, I'll die a happy man, because he's fantastic. And it's really impressive that he can still play at that level, at that age, and he's not done yet. So hopefully I can try to do the same. I definitely aspire to play as long as I possibly can.
And he makes it look 50s. Easy, just like you do. You make it, both of you guys. And that's when you're a good ball player, when you can make it like Shohei.
Gifted.
Just makes the game look like it comes easy. And like you said, the field of screams. Well, I'm going to suck. I played 4 softball games. It's cold out, and then you go and strike out 14 guys. Yeah, it's impressive. And you play in a competitive softball league, right? Is that?
Yeah, I love softball. It always sounds funny to people, and Mark gives me crap for it. But yeah, I've been playing softball for a couple of years now. Great group of guys. They're like, a second or third family to me. But yeah, it's so much fun, man. Like I said, anywhere that.
And do you pitch when you play softball too?
No, I play short. And I'm
Okay.
just a psycho, diving around and jumping and trying to catch everything, and I'll hit a ton, which is fun. And that was another thing from this year, right, Dan?
Yeah.
Mark finally let me hit.
Nobody knew you were such a good hitter.
I always told
It's
Mark,
like
I'm like, give me
that
the
kid
bat.
from LSU. I used to hit bombs. I told him I hit bombs.
I told Mark forever, I'm like, Mark, I can hit. Like, I can play baseball. And he's like, no, you're a pitcher. And whatever. And but he would always, bust my chops about it. And then this year he finally let me hit. And it went well. It went well. I had a good season at the plate. But for softball, it's a blast. Like, my favorite thing in the world, as I've already said a couple of times, is just give me a jersey, give me a glove. I'll throw on the cleats. I'll play anytime, anywhere. I don't care where it is. And anyone who plays with me knows that that's true. So I don't care if it's slow pitch softball or baseball or a random tournament here. Like, I just want to be out on the field playing. So I find softball so much fun. I'm like a little kid out there running around, and it's just a blast. It's another excuse to be outside.
You don't find it hard going between the two? Like,
I was just going to say the same thing, Gibby.
Like
D and I had a couple of teammates like Josue who used to play in these competitive leagues, and we knew when he had a softball game like the night before, because he'd go like, for a kid who always went 4 for 4, would suddenly go like 0 for 3. And like, wait a minute, bud, what's up? Like, I was playing softball all weekend.
You could
Yeah,
tell.
no.
I don't know. I always heard like, I always heard the same, that, it can affect your swing. I don't know. I didn't really feel it like negatively affecting me this year. I just thought it was fun. Like, for me, that's all it was. It was as simple as that. I was like, I don't care if it affects my swing or whatever. Like, this is just fun, man. I just like being outside with my buddies and playing and competing. And I think maybe that's just when people think too much, right? They're thinking too much about it. But hey, nothing wrong with a girl sport, Mark. Right?
Would love to see Mark come and play and hit a 70-mile-an-hour pitch from 60 feet away.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite stories. And so we were having our MLB scout day when I was at Franklin Pierce at Southern New Hampshire. I forget what was going on. This was a while back. I don't know if it was like weather or something, but they actually moved our MLB scout day for the fall from Franklin Pierce to Southern New Hampshire University. So we had to drive down there to, do everything in front of the scouts.
I've umped there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a nice field. And it was funny because the girls softball team at Southern New Hampshire was doing a fundraiser at the field right next to us. So you had to pay some money, and you could take at bats against their pitchers. So any real baseball player has respect for softball players. You know how hard it is, right? Like,
they're like, I'm gonna go yard.
Yeah,
okay, buddy.
They
all right, Jenny Finch
like,
steps up and you all strike out. Loved it.
Yeah.
It was so funny because like, no one was disrespectful. Like, everyone has respect for those softball players, because we do know it's hard. Like, people make jokes, but we do know it's hard. And when you're facing a real softball pitcher, so a couple of guys paid money. And we're like, yeah, let's do it. It's for like a good cause, and we can just like have some fun. Like, who cares if you get out? Some of our best guys, we had guys, I'm not going to name names because it's just like not fair, but like we had guys who went on to be MLB draft picks who paid made their donation and went up to go hit and swung and missed 3 times. Like, wicked bad. Like, no one got a hit. Nobody was even close.
But,
they were throwing gas.
I got to say, for the ladies, right? It's not a knock on them that they couldn't hit. Like, that's an incredible female pitcher that we get buried in the dirt, and all these female athletes get buried in the dirt when they like beat dudes because we don't want to embarrass the guys. But why is that embarrassing? She was sick. You know what I mean? I hear you. Awesome. But as a woman in sports and a woman in a male sport, I hear that shit all the time, and I just think like, this is why 7 out of 10 dudes think that they can get a point on Serena Williams. I'm just saying.
Yeah, for sure. People don't know how hard it is. It's everyone likes to talk until you're the man in the arena, right? Go out there and do it, and then let us know. Report back.
Yeah,
it's hard.
But then give the girls that their dues. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
I think they're embarrassed by it, so they like, you know.
But that's what I'm saying. Why are they embarrassed? If they swung and missed against like Shohei Ohtani, they wouldn't be embarrassed.
They think softball is easy.
And the really good thing about that day
so
was,
let's change that narrative. All I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. And the cool thing about that day was everyone was super, fun and respectful about it, which was awesome. Like everyone was laughing.
As they should be.
Yeah, like it was so fun. Like it was really funny. I think I forget if some guys got some like videos of it or something, but it was awesome. But yeah, not joking at all. Guys who went on to be MLB draft picks were there whiffing like crazy, and that was really cool to see and experience. Some of those girls can really throw the crap out of that softball. So it's interesting.
Try to watch a baseball player hit like a slow rise. It's the best. Yeah. Or a high rise, like either one. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, it's so different.
Can't hit it.
So different. Yeah, like you don't know until you get in the box against it, and you're like, whoa, that's not baseball.
And likewise, I get in the extra fast cages at the batting cages, and when I was transitioning back into baseball, my swing was garbage until I got my timing right, did everything I needed to do, because it is a different swing. It's a different timing mechanism. It's a different release, right? There are all these different things to softball. So they missed because they're not softball players, right? Not just because they're baseball players who can hit a ball. It's a different mechanic. Once you get it down, you're fine, right? Like once you or whomever got down that swing, they would have gone, they would have hit it. Like that's no doubt. But I do think that it does, it does kind of make people realize that competitive softball, I mean, collegiate level softball is not slow pitch softball, right? Even high school softball is not slow pitch softball, and that those girls are ballers. And I think you got to give them their dues. I mean, baseball is the best game in the world, but softball is not easy.
Zach said, the only thing left for Brock to prove is pitching innings 60 to 80 for third base side in the 100 inning game.
Hey, like I said to you, I'll be there for one of these 100-inning games. So the one that recently happened, I really wanted to do it, but me and my fiance, we had some family visiting from Wisconsin, so they were only here for that weekend, and actually went to Salem. We brought them to Salem, and we're doing some things with family that weekend. I was super bummed out because I'm like, I wanted to play in that game, but like, what can you do? You got family around, so you just gotta do that.
Well, what time did they go to sleep, Brock? Because we didn't.
Pretty late, yeah.
She also paid for it for 2 weeks.
I don't know if I was going to be in pitching shape if I showed up at that time. Would have needed. Yeah, I was in rough shape. I had a fun long day in Salem. It was a good time. But yeah, definitely count me in though for
Salem's a lot of fun.
100-inning games. Yeah, absolutely. But at some point, I got to get to one of those games, and you can count me in. I will be at one of those. I really want to do it. Everyone says really great things about that game.
You got to do it at least once.
Yeah, for sure.
Your wedding must be coming up soon. I feel like you've been engaged for a long time.
I put the pressure on me. She might be watching right now.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure.
Stay engaged forever.
Yeah,
stay engaged.
From a married woman.
Blush.
I know. She still makes me blush. She's the best. Yeah, I've been with her since we were sophomores in high school. She supported me through my whole career.
Ridiculously sweet.
Yeah, we were like 14
high school
or 15 years old. So yeah.
Oh my God! Stop it.
Yeah. Oh. We were so young, and we've been engaged. So the day after the season ended in Chatham, when I was coaching there in 2023, because again, the whole summer ball, you get no days off. Then we legit had 1 or 2 days off the entire season that summer in 2023. It was pretty brutal. But, that's what you sign up for. That's the baseball life. So I had the ring the whole summer. I was just like hiding it. I'm like, I gotta wait for a good time. There was never a good time. We were always too busy. So the day, I just figured, I was like, the day after the season ends, I'm gonna, just tell her like, let's go do a picnic at one of our favorite spots. One of our favorite spots is Chatham Lighthouse Beach.
Oh, that's a great beach.
Background.
Yeah, that's a great
really
beach.
Cool. Mm-hmm. So I was like, hey, let's go do like a picnic. That's what I want to do to celebrate, the Cape League season ending and having like a good summer and everything. So, went and packed some beers in a cooler, and I hid the ring somewhere in the cooler that I knew she wouldn't look. And then as we were just hanging out on the beach for a few hours, I proposed to her there, as the sun was setting at the Chatham Light, and she said yes.
Oh,
so that was pretty cool. But yeah, it was really nice. So I've been engaged since then. So yeah, been engaged.
Did somebody tell her to get her nails done?
No plans
yet?
yet?
Her best friend who
told her to get her nails done. Yeah. Nobody told me to get my nails done.
Yeah. Because her best friend, I was in their wedding. We were both in their wedding because we're really good friends with them. So I let her best friend know to like try to trick her into that, and yeah, everything was done
What's
right.
her name? So we don't just keep calling her she. Sorry, what's her name? Her.
Danielle.
I was gonna say her. Danielle.
Yeah,
okay,
Danielle,
and we keep saying her.
Cool name.
Yeah.
2026, Brock. Let's hear some wedding bells, huh?
I know it. Yeah, we just haven't made any plans yet. We've just been enjoying being engaged and saving money. We're young. We're just like enjoying it. We're in
Do
no
that.
rush,
Yeah.
Elope
Take your
and
time.
spend all the money on a honeymoon.
Take your time.
Dude, I would.
Yeah.
I'd do things a little different.
No, we're happy. We're taking things slow. We've been together for forever, anyways. So.
I mean, it's probably like a common law marriage, like 3 times over at this point.
Yeah. Right.
Probably. Yeah.
I think you're all set.
Did you know that Zach proposed to Angie at the 100-inning game?
Mm-hmm.
When?
Yep.
What year was this?
2017.
You got to watch the documentary.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I do need to watch that. I didn't get a chance to check that out.
Yeah,
that
he
awesome.
coordinated something between Kevin O'Leary, the umpire, and I think Jay Thomas was catching. So they all conspired. And
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, yeah, I'll have to at some point you'll have to send me some pictures of that or something, or I got to see that. That's cool.
Check out the documentary. It's actually on YouTube. Documentary's on YouTube.
Yeah, this
although
this
Cock
one
would
here is
probably
the
kill me
star of it.
for saying that.
Can we be clear? I'm not sure how that happened, but the other day,
it's still really well done.
It's really cool. No, it was so cool. But the other day, I work in a high school, and it was Halloween, so it was kind of just like one of those days where the kids were just like floating around the building, like kind of watching movies or whatever. So I have a big projector in my office. I'm a school psychologist, and I was just hanging out, and I had kids in and out of my room. And one of my students was like, "Hey, you said you were in a movie, Angie? Like, come on." And I was like, "Oh, y'all want to watch it?" And they did. And I had like 4 high school girls in my office watching a movie about baseball, asking me all these questions.
That's awesome.
But then of course the scene comes up where I get proposed to, and they're like, "Oh, yeah." And I'm like, "Girls, let me tell you right now. Hold on, put this on pause. We need to talk about this, okay? Here's what you're gonna do." But it was awesome.
You
Yeah,
gotta make
I've heard
sure
good
you're in
things about
Chatham. You gotta make sure you get your nails
done. Yep, get your nails done, girls.
and sign the DNA.
Or the NDA, either.
And
But get your name on both of those. But get your name on both of those.
When we went back to visit Chatham 1 year later. Little side note here, just because it was a good story. We went back when it was our 1 year of being engaged. So yeah, last year, because it's been 2 years now. But Danielle goes, "Let's get matching Chatham light tattoos." I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, let's go do it." So we did. So we went to a local, place. I think we went to a place in Hyannis, and I got
Where'd
an
you get
outline
it?
tattoo of
Where'd you
the
get
Chatham
it?
light on my ribs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it hurt really bad. I was sunburned. Sunburned and drunk, and she made me do it, and then she went and got it on her arm. But they came out great, so it was really cool. But it hurt like hell. I'd rather get a fastball to the ribs than a tattoo to the ribs.
It's a lot quicker.
Fun fact, I have my entire rib cage from under my armpit to down to my thigh completely tattooed. It is. You've seen it, haven't you, Gibby?
I think so.
Are you sure? Yeah, I think so. A long time ago, maybe.
Wrong answer,
But yeah.
Gib.
Yeah. No, I think it was I put it on Facebook. But anyways, yes, the rib cage is extremely painful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It hurts. I can't imagine doing all that. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
They must have done that over a course of like 2 or 3 sessions, right? Or they did it all in one.
It was 2 6-hour sessions,
Jesus.
and then
You like pain, huh?
and then I got it. Well, there's something about tattoos, but then I got it. I got it touched up, which was another 6-hour session 2 years ago.
Jesus.
So it's had a total of like 20 hours of work on it.
Wow.
Oh, man. That's painful.
But anyway, yeah. Yeah, it was good times.
Oh, there's Raz. Players like Brock make the league stronger. The way he competes pushes other teams to raise their game. Yeah, were you surprised going back to baseball? Were you surprised how competitive because I've always said the 28s and even the 38s is more competitive than the 18s. And one of the reasons why, as you said earlier, that in the 18s you have throwers, but in the older leagues you have pitchers that have been doing it for a long time, know how to pitch. They don't just throw. So were you surprised at how competitive the division was?
Yeah, for sure. It was a lot more competitive than I thought it would be coming in because you don't always know what to expect when you're joining. But I quickly found out. I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of guys here who like played college ball, played pro ball, and still really love competing and getting after it. And it's a bunch of just grinders, right? It's grown men going to work all day and then hit the gym after work and going to the baseball field after that. And it's like guys come to play, right? There's grinders there and a lot of great guys in the league who are really talented. And just to go back to Raz's comment, I definitely want to make sure I give him a quick shout out. I mean, what a great guy he is, huh? Like he's the best. He's such a good guy. He's one of those really great ambassadors for the league. He's a guy who he extends his hand out to guys who are even on other teams, and he makes sure that he takes care of those guys, lets them know that he's supportive. I didn't even know him that well, and last year he invited me to come play in the old time baseball game, and he made it a point to say to me too, like, hey, great job, you're a good player, and we just kind of became friends that way. So he approached me and just became a really good friend pretty quickly, and he was a reason I got to play in that old time baseball game this year, and he's always super respectful. So he's awesome, and Dan, I know you're lucky enough to play for him. So if I didn't play for Mark, I think Raz is one of the only other guys I'd play for. So that's a big compliment from me for sure.
He's the reason why I haven't retired from the 28s yet. He keeps just bringing me back. But I joke with him that he becomes the commissioner of the division, and all of a sudden we win the championship. So we talking about fixing earlier.
That might need to be
seems a little shady, right?
That's. But no, he's a great guy, but to answer the question, like a bunch of guys like that, like just good guys, and a lot of scrappy players. You got guys like myself, yourself, Evan Valcourt, got all the different guys on the Senators. You got all the guys on the Bombers. You got Tyler, Teddy, Juan, all those really good guys, and just so much talent around the league. I could name so many guys from every single team. I could name a couple guys who it's like, whoa, like these guys come to play, man. Like you can't take a pitch off with some of these guys. So I was very pleasantly surprised. And then each time we faced the 18 plus in the All-Star game, we got them pretty good both times, but they still have players that would definitely be successful, at any of the divisions. I know there's some good arms in that league too. And I'm sure plenty of those hitters, as they get older, they'll only get better too, right? Those guys are still young. They're going to continue getting better. So it's a great league and a great system of guys just, coming up and up and up. And it's awesome. It's such a great league.
I've been trying to push for the 28s to play the 38s and the Metro West to play the 18s, just because the 28s have historically dominated. And I was like, why not try something different? But then there's a lot of 28 plus players that play in the 38s, so that might be a problem. But I thought that would be more of a competitive game, and maybe it'll happen this year. I'm not sure, but
that'd be super cool.
Why not switch it up, right?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I've loved the league so far. It's a great league, and it's very competitive. I tell lots of other guys to, hey, if you want to keep playing baseball, come do it here.
So
absolutely.
And then I'm not sure if you played there last year, but this year you also walked away with some trophies in the over 30 baseball league.
Yeah,
is this your first year playing over there? Or?
Yeah, for sure. So as you guys know, I'm 29 still, but every team's allowed to have one guy who's under the age of 30. So some of my buddies, like my cousin and some of my other buddies who play in the Lowell over 30 league, because it's a Lowell league. They were like, hey, just come play for fun. Again, like I've already said 5 times on this show, you give me a jersey, you give me, a hat, I'll get my butt out there. I don't really care where it is, what league it is. I don't care about, if it's like a laid back league or a competitive league. Like, just tell me what to do. I just want to be outside.
Remember he said that 7 years from now, or sorry, 9 years from now, when he's eligible for 38s.
Hey, I'll play, man. Count me in. I just like to play. So. Yeah, count me in. So, so with that league, they were like, hey, just come play on Sunday mornings and just have fun. So it's a bit more of a laid back league. But yeah, I had a blast. I still threw like 50 innings there this year. I think I threw like well over 50 in the Metro League as well, like including playoffs. Threw in a couple of tournaments. So I threw about 150 innings on the year in total. So guys on the Angels were always like, why are you throwing on Sunday? and then coming and like pitching at night too. And the Metro, I'm like, oh, I don't know, just again, it's a pill sport, baby. Just take some and show up to the field. But yeah, I threw a bunch of innings there, and I won American League Rookie of the Year, Team MVP, and Cy Young as well. So that was fun. Wow. So trophy case is getting a little full, but some of the leagues are competitive, some of them are not. It's okay. I just like to play. I don't really care where it is.
Unbelievable.
Certainly having you.
Understand
certainly fun having you a part of it, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's a blast. I'm gonna play out there until the wheels fall off. That's for sure. And I'll stop, as Tom Brady would say, I'll stop playing when I suck, right? And even then, I might still keep going. Who knows?
Have you ever given thought to moving up to like the Intercity League or the Park League? Any teams ever reach out to you to come play for them over there?
I remember like when I was in college, I had heard from like some of the Intercity League teams, but quite frankly, like I was busy playing in some of the other leagues. Like I was always playing in like the Futures or any CBL or Cape or whatever. So some of the NCAA sanctioned leagues were, made more sense for me at that time. As for right now, I like where I'm at. I love the Boston Metro League. I'm loyal to that league. I'm loyal to my team, the Angels. That's really all I have interest in right now. I know some of the other leagues out there are great, right? I know like those leagues have high praise, like all the respect to those leagues. I love seeing baseball grow. I hope there's, more and more leagues as time goes by, but I like the league I play in now. So it's probably where I'll be staying.
Well, as a Senator, that's unfortunate, but we love having you in the league. You make it better. You make it that much better.
For sure.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, that's really nice.
And you know what winning does? Winning only puts a target on your back. You get everyone's best after you win. So it's kind of the price you have to pay, right? What of it, right?
Yeah, it's true. And the thing I always like to think to myself, or, even tell teammates is, since the beginning of sports even existing, anytime the other team shows up to the field, they're trying to beat you. So, who cares? Like you just got to go and beat them anyways. And maybe they want to beat you a little bit more because you won last year, but no matter what, they're trying to beat you. So you just got to ignore that pressure and just go out there and just play your butt off every time. Because they're always going to be trying to beat you. So you got to be trying to beat them. Sounds simple. It sounds simple, but yeah.
But there's something about playing with friends.
Yep.
I wanted to show, this was a picture from the banquet.
Oh, look at that. What a great pick.
Orazio, we're just talking about.
Yep, and you got Chris Curry in the background. Yeah, two great guys. Yeah, two guys
Curry's always in the background.
Yeah. Two dudes that are, very good guys. They've always been nice to me. So yeah, I appreciate all of them. Yeah, everyone in the league has been super welcoming to me and made it fun for me, right? When you play in a league and, excuse the language, but when people are just like dicks and stuff, it's not fun, right? That's not like cool. I've been around plenty of people like that or baseball like that. We all have, right? I'm sure all four of us have. But when I came to this league, it's like, whoa, like everyone's like super cool and supportive and just like respectful. And so it's been, it's made it a lot easier to join this league and want to stay in it too.
Sometimes the shit talk is fun too, and I know the Angels sometimes get in it with other teams, but at the end of the day,
I stay out of that. Yeah. Yeah, I think anyone who knows it, it's like I don't get involved in any of that. Anyone who knows me knows that. I'm just whatever, man. I go to the field. I just want to ball out and I want to. Come home and go to bed. I got work the next day. I'm not interested in any of the drama or the Facebook stuff. I don't care. So I'm never getting involved in any of that. Yeah. It's not what I like to do.
When the league is as competitive as it is, you're going to always have drama. Sorry, Gib.
Yeah. I was just going to say, me and you certainly stirred our pots when in our younger days, but as you kind of grow up and get older, you kind of realize it's just not worth it, but for the most part, you're right. I mean, playing with your brothers and your boys and sitting around and playing the best you can and then hanging out and having a few beers afterwards is what makes our league great. And there are certainly a lot of great guys that are a part of it. And yeah, you're right up there, man.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And hey, and real quick, I wanted to point something out. Behind you, is that a Netherlands national team hat?
It is.
Behind you on that rack?
It is. Yep.
I knew I sniped that out. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
right
funny.
there.
Yeah, that's you weren't gonna get that by me. Yeah,
That's awesome.
We coached against them, and I thought I saw that. I'm like, is that like a? Huh. Yeah, it's a Netherlands team hat. So yeah, we were out at the European
Amsterdam National. Yeah. So we went.
Yeah.
Zach and I just went to Amsterdam, and of course, wherever we go, we find baseball, or baseball finds us. I think they're the Amsterdam Pirates. I think, if I'm correct on that, I'm not sure. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, so we were at the European Championship in 2023. Yeah, of course they were there and stuff. And yeah, DD Gregorius was the shortstop for them. And yeah, it was really cool. So we got to, talk to DD for a little bit. And we ended up, we didn't run into them in that tournament. We actually didn't play directly against them. We usually could have. It's just, tournament baseball. It just didn't shake out that way in 2023. But yeah, they were there. And, we had to do scouting reports for them and watch them. So it's funny because now it's like, I see some of the international team logos, and I'm like, I know that logo. Like, So sniped that out. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. They had like the blue and the orange jerseys, but when we were there, the orange was the more prominent color. And Zachary Francis doesn't look as good in orange as he does in navy blue, so we didn't get a jersey. But they
got some nice stuff. Yeah, and they're a good team too. A lot of people forget that. Those teams. It includes like Aruba and Curacao, and so Xander Bogaerts. Will play for them, and there's a lot of talent, and even with Team Great Britain, guys that were born to. If people's parents were born in the Bahamas while it was still a British territory, or even Jamaica and countries like that, in the Caribbean countries, people forget a lot of those players are eligible for Team Great Britain. So, they might start trying to get some more of those guys as well. That's interesting. I wish I could, name some cool guys that are potential. That could be there, but I think, some of those guys are working on that stuff. So there's some really interesting players that I think will be at the WBC on all of the teams. And the next World Baseball Classic is going to be unbelievable. I'm sure you guys are going to do an awesome job covering that.
Oh, I can't wait for it. It's going to be awesome. I agree.
Yeah.
So we got one final question for you. We're at the 2-hour mark. We appreciate your time.
How do we do this? Every time we're like, all right, we're going to cut it down.
It feels like it's been 10 minutes. Yeah.
I know. We just get to talking and
it's a bunch of baseball junkies. Yeah.
So Ange, I know you've been dying to ask this question. It wasn't one of the ones that we sent to you in advance, so it might be a little challenging. Go ahead, Ange.
And you're not, and you're not our pilot, Brock, because we did pilot this with Steve Buckley. So don't get intimidated.
Sure.
What's your starting 9?
All time.
Yeah, that's
all time.
All time.
Oh, that's a cool question. Okay. Wow. Yeah, definitely put on the spot here because that's so hard, right? You could easily go like all day, like trying to fix this line. So
I know, but hold on, but just so you are like the pilot, you are the only. So now you're the one. Now everybody who ever comes on knows we're going to ask this question. So it's actually you're going to have this the hardest of all.
Yeah. Thank you for.
Thank you. Thank you for being our guinea pig.
Guinea pig.
Yeah. Oh,
you can take your time.
I was gonna say, let me let me
any other future guests should be thinking about this now.
Yeah, you can use resource. You can
use resources.
You can
doesn't
call
necessarily
phone a friend.
have to be in correct batting order, but just position wise.
Each position. DH too.
Yeah, DH and a pitcher.
You can throw it in for fun.
Yes, DH and a pitcher and a reliever. Why not?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you're a Red Sox fan, right?
Yeah, I was a huge Red Sox fan growing up. So here, what I'll pull up here is I'll pull up like just a resource here because I don't want any easy names to slip my mind and then like look back on it and be like, how the heck did I forget this name? But here, maybe I'll look at some names here and maybe I'll put my own spin on it intentionally, even if I know that maybe other people wouldn't choose that person. Maybe I'll choose some of my favorites. All right, put it this way. I'll do some of the easy ones first. For me, easy ones for me. Starting catcher for me has to be Jason Varitek. I don't care what anyone else says.
Okay.
The captain. Yep, the captain. I don't care. Other people are going to be like, Brock, you're an idiot. Choose Yogi Berra or whatever. Yeah, I don't care.
Carlton Fisk.
He would be my second after Fisk. But
yeah. And don't get me wrong. I'm aware that Fisk is the correct answer, but this is Brock's starting 9, right?
As long as you know.
Yeah, this is my starting 9.
Your starting 9.
I want Jason Varitek out there. He was my favorite player growing up. For DH, I want Big Papi.
Yep.
I would say that. Oh man. first base.
Yeah, there's a lot. A lot.
Put it this way: starting pitcher. I'll do an easy third one here. Starting pitcher, give me Pedro.
Pedro.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yep.
Yes.
Hands down.
Yes.
Of course, for me, that like Roger Clemens would be a close second, but I think I give my edge to Pedro. I loved Pedro growing up. Roger Clemens was more, a little bit more accomplished, but I love that. And not to like reopen this can of worms, we don't need to dive down it or anything, but I love that Pedro, did it the clean way and
That's it.
didn't have any of that. So I love that. I have a huge, huge amount of respect for him. Let's see, first base. I might need to come back to that one.
Okay.
Second base. For second base, so one of the guys that I coached that I became very good friends with when I was coaching in the Cape was Caden Kent, whose dad is Jeff Kent. So give me Jeff Kent at second base.
Okay.
That's a good pick.
That's a
Yep. Let's see. And you know what? I'll throw in. I don't care if any of the answers are wrong. I'm just gonna go for it.
There's no
There's
wrong
no
answer.
wrong answer.
This
This is your lineup.
Yeah, this is mine.
Yeah.
So give me Jeff Kent at second base. For first base, so one of my personal friends that I played with in Chatham as well, Spencer Torkelson, the first baseman for the Tigers. So give me my guy Torque at first base. I've never seen someone
do it.
effortlessly just flick a baseball.
Was he
out
in
of
the home
park
run
like
derby
him.
at all?
He wasn't, but if he ever was at some point, I'm sure he'd do a great job. He effortlessly
Good year.
just backspins balls out of the ballpark. Like I remember just sitting in the bullpen and Wareham. Back at that time in 2018, the visitor team, their bullpen was behind the left field wall. They since have flip-flopped that. So if you go to a game, you'll see it's flip-flopped. But we used to sit behind the left field wall all the way up on that big stone wall. And I remember just seeing him watching Spencer just looked like he barely even swung.
Yeah, they make it look
and the
easy.
ball
Yeah,
just takes off like an airplane. It
it's
just
crazy,
goes
right?
like you just see it. It takes off like someone teeing off a golf ball.
Yep.
It made no sense.
Yep.
It broke physics.
Yep.
So give me him at first base. Maybe at shortstop. For shortstop, as much as anyone's not going to like this, and it kind of contradicts what I said a little earlier, give me Seattle Mariners A-Rod.
A-Rod, I knew you were going to say A-Rod.
Dude,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I know,
said it
Ange,
earlier.
but think about it, Ange. Before all this, right? Give me Seattle Mariners A-Rod at shortstop.
I
Have you seen that
would have
documentary?
rather you
He's the
said
best
Derek
ever.
Jeter. I don't
know,
care.
but he's the greatest shortstop.
He's so
probably ever.
graceful.
He's so good.
The
There's
swing was
only
so
one
good.
person
So
that I
pretty.
hate more than A-Rod. And you're not wrong, Gibby. I just can't bring myself to do it. But the only person that I hate more than A-Rod is Jorge Posada.
Oh, well, I
Really?
hate that one.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
that rat fuck.
Well, I guess if I end up not being allowed to choose A-Rod,
There's
because
no-
Angel
not
punched
allowed.
me.
No, you can choose
That's
A-Rod.
done.
We're
Yeah.
gonna
I
make-
lose a
Pick
little respect for you, but you can choose A-Rod.
Yeah, well,
Pick
so
is-
that I
pick
can
is
so that
in.
I can avoid a open palm smack when I see Angel, I'll choose Nomar. Give me Nomar at short.
Nice.
Nice.
We won't write it down. Next.
Yeah.
Let's see. Trying to just look at some of this and see if I agree with any of what I see here.
So what do we got? Third base left.
Third
left
base and
field,
outfield.
left
Yep.
center, and right.
And a relief
Yeah.
pitcher.
Oh, relief or closer.
A closer, yeah.
Oh, third base is
I know.
it's hard because
some good ones.
man, that's okay. So here's the answer I'll go with for this. Let me change a quick answer for shortstop. Give me prime Red Sox Nomar at short. He was right up there with prime A-Rod in a lot of ways defensively.
Sure.
Anyone who knows baseball, look at the numbers, you'll see that some of that's true. And then for third base, give me A-Rod. Give me A-Rod at third base.
Wow,
even though
okay.
that's Yankees era A-Rod
Rock.
and Ange
Rock.
doesn't like
Switched it up.
that.
I love
give me
it,
that.
man. I love it.
Yeah, I'll take it. I know Ange doesn't like it, but that's
Gibbs taking notes.
it's such a
I am. I'm writing them down.
yeah. For left field, give me Manny Ramirez.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
the best
And
swing, one of the best swings
I mean,
you're
just
ever gonna see in your
beautiful. He
life.
just had a beautiful
Yeah.
swing. Yeah.
Not for his
100%.
defense, I'm assuming.
No.
Yeah. No, not for his defense.
Yeah.
Center field, give me Hank Aaron.
Mm.
Yeah, give me Hank Aaron. And then
Okay.
for right field, you know what? Just shove him in right field. An outfielder's an outfielder. Give me Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I mean,
Nice.
I know, whether he was, in right or whatever, but do with that as you will. But throw them in the
Solid.
outfield. Switch
And
him
then
and Mandy.
closer.
Mandy
I mean, do
We
we have
need
to
a-
ask? Probably sure.
So so closer. So that's a good one. So for closer, this is my honest answer. I really would put Aroldis Chapman. I think he's the greatest closer. I know that there's guys that do have more saves and stuff like that, right? I think like Trevor Hoffman and Mariano Rivera.
Eckersley.
Yeah,
Gibbs
but
boy.
I think when you talk about stuff, like pure stuff, when he's on his A game, and the longevity, how long he's been at the top of his game, I want Aroldis Chapman out there for sure.
102 is no joke.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
more than that.
No.
Yeah. So again, I know this is just for fun. If people want to pull up stats and argue, they can have fun with that. This is just my for fun lineup, but I would go with Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, no, this is for
A
you.
little bit
This is for
of a
fun,
homer
Dave.
team.
Yeah.
but
If I had to do, let's see, who are we missing? A relief pitcher?
relief pitcher, yeah. If
That's
it's supposed to be
hard.
starting 9, but I guess we can make it starting 11.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I wasn't sure if anyone
Yeah.
mentioned it.
Starting
Got
9
en-
plus a
Got
reliever
enough
and
there.
closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is one of those things too. I'll like re-listen to this later and be like, "Oh crap, I definitely should have said." You know what I mean? Because us baseball people, when you give me more time to think about it, when I'm driving to work tomorrow, I'll be like, "Oh, I should have said this guy and that guy and this guy." But put me on the spot. Those are the 9 that I think I come up with
Yeah, I think
right
it's
away.
better if you put on the
and,
spot than
And if you ask me tomorrow,
Yeah.
some of the answers would be different.
Yeah.
No,
Nice.
first thought,
Yeah.
best thought.
That's
Yep.
right.
yeah.
I like it.
It's fun.
Well,
Yeah,
thanks
I
for
do too.
being
Solid
first.
lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd be interested in hearing some of you guys' once you do that, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we
sure.
should do like I am not a big fan of AI, but we should definitely get all these people's lists and then like simulate some games and see who like comes out on top.
Oh, that
That'd
would
be
be
so
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
fun?
That would be funny.
And even a minute later, I'm already thinking of other stuff. I'm like, oh, how do I leave out, like how do I leave out Shohei and stuff like that? It's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's so hard. But
Judge.
yeah, and Judge, right? Like you start saying names, and then you're
Yeah.
like, oh, damn, like I probably would pick Judge over
I
Mickey
mean-
Mantle. Like I probably would. I really would. Yeah.
Well, as you
I
were
mean,
going,
we-
I was surprised. Like when you got to Hank Aaron, I was like, oh, he's got no one like old, and then you finally.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Oh yeah, Hank Aaron. All day I'd go with like Hank Aaron. I mean, now I think of like Willie Mays. Statistically, probably the best player ever.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah. I'm sure us four could go in circles about it till 3 a.m. about making
Oh,
this perfect
100%.
lineup.
And then I want a backup team, and because we
Yeah.
have these conversations, and I think of my favorites first, or I think of like the most impactful ones on my life, and then I start to
Oh,
think
yeah.
about, oh well, shit, then Harper and Trout, and
Yeah.
like those are the guys
Yeah.
that I don't even think about, but I should be.
Yeah.
You know what
Or
I mean? Like
or
I'm just
give
not.
me like
right?
like 1960 or 1961 Roger Maris. Give me that guy out
well,
there.
it's funny
like,
because sometimes you see online a lot of these millennials don't even know players back before. So the players that they pick,
it's so
like,
bad.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like really.
Well, and then
Yeah.
there's somebody who does it at Fenway, and some of them I'm like, but that's not even no.
Give
But
me
he doesn't.
no kid.
Oh, they don't even know Noma anymore.
Yeah,
They're like-
they don't even know. And if they
They
knew some of
have
his
no
numbers
idea.
and if they saw some of the footage, I mean, they would see that he was.
Marty Barrett.
I mean, he was on pace as being a Hall of Fame player. He was head to head with A-Rod as one of the best players in the league, and
His
people
rookie
forget.
year, man.
People forget.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these kids don't know.
No. Some of the people that they were putting in the lineup, I was like, and you'll lose, and you suck, and that's just not going to work. Nope. Like, and you
Yeah.
just put together the worst team ever. Like,
Yeah. See, I didn't even think of like Babe Ruth, and there's so many. It's a fun question for sure. Yeah.
So Brock,
It's a good one.
We said his name earlier, but I guess we'll have one more question for you.
Sure.
Do you know the 2 players who wore number 26 that have been inducted into the Hall of Fame, MLB Hall of Fame? We said one earlier.
Wade Boggs
Correct.
and
This is a tough one because I didn't even know this. I had to look it up.
I only know one other player that's played 26, and I wonder if
He
it's
was
the one I'm thinking
inducted in 1987 as a member of the Chicago Cubs.
Cubs.
He wore
Is it
number
who I'm thinking
26.
of?
Not Ron Santos.
His number was retired by the Cubs. Let's see. He played for 18 seasons. It's loading.
yeah, Try not to look it up or anything. I'm thinking as hard as I can. But
18-year career, 16 with the Cubs.
Yeah, I don't know.
2,711 hits, 290 batting average, 426 home runs. His name is Billy Williams.
Billy Williams.
Billy Williams.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got it. Yeah.
The only other 26 I know is Satchel Paige wore 26, but obviously it's not him. But.
And Cal Raleigh, now with the Mariners.
Yeah,
Big dumper.
Yeah.
I know.
What a season he had, man.
Oh my God.
Did not have, for a catcher, did not have an error pass ball until the ALCS.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know if people realize how hard that is.
Right?
Catcher's a hard position. And,
reminds me a lot of myself.
Yeah. I see a young Dan Field when I look at him. Yeah.
I got a pretty big dumper.
The 60 homers
for
like catchers for a reason. I know, he's crazy.
Yeah, he's unbelievable, and I love his nickname. In college, my fiance hates this, but in college, my nickname was Wagon because I got a big butt. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, there was one guy at the Cape tournament who watched one of our games. He's like, how I know that you're a good pitcher? And right in front of my mom and my sister and my fiance and stuff. I was like, how? And he goes, you've got a great ass. I was like, oh, thanks. Like,
thanks.
That's
great golfer, huge ass.
Yeah,
huge ass.
Old man.
Well, that's why you ever look at softball players, like collegiate softball players, they just have the best butts ever. There's like a really famous picture.
This topic conversation every
we do,
episode.
but there's a famous picture of a whole bunch of like softball chicks waiting for like a collegiate tournament, and it's just like if you, it's a side view of all of them lined up for the national anthem, and all you see is like straight back, and they all have bubbles, straight back bubble, straight back bubble. It's my favorite shot of all time.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I don't look at anyone but my fiance, but Dan and Gibbs off to tell me.
That's sweet.
Good answer.
Yeah, there we go. A couple points for Brock.
But then you get to be old and married and talk about all the people that you think are cute, and it's totally fine.
But yeah, back to Cal. Yeah, so I mean, he's amazing, and our catcher for Team Great Britain I was talking about earlier, Harry Ford. It's hard for him because now he's kind of stuck behind Cal, right? Because Harry is a true catcher. He's a guy who projects to stay at the catcher position. He can play anywhere, but I'm really interested to see what happens to him. And I don't have any information on what's going to happen with him. Like, I don't know if he'll get traded or if they'll move his position, or because you never know what can happen. I'm not like I don't claim to know what they're doing there, but I'm interested to see what's going to go on because Harry's a big leaguer and he's an A1 dude, and he'll be a big leaguer for a long time. So it's a name to keep watch for. Watch for Harry Ford. He'll be a big name real soon. He's a great kid, and he was an amazing catcher, and one of the big reasons that we got the silver medal in Europe.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, Mr. Brock Riley, we can't thank you enough for your time.
Thanks for being here.
It flew by, as it always does when we talk about baseball. Look forward to seeing what you do next year, although I'm not sure you can really top what you've done these past 2 years, but I'm sure you will find a way.
The goal is to just work hard, keep it the process, stick to lifting, taking care of my body, having fun with my teammates, winning with my teammates, and you can't tie too much of your emotions into external events, right? Like I've said that to you before. I won't have a job. Shut up, Brock Riley. Well, we got to keep Ange in business, so everybody
exactly. Thank you.
Have a breakdown weekend, but nothing wrong with the occasional.
Between 8 and 4.
What was that?
Between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Not after or before. Yeah, I'm not going to be awake.
But yeah, in sports, I just try to have fun, do my best, and if we end up winning or anything as a result, then awesome. But I'm going to keep playing as long as I can. So thank you guys for having me. It's always a pleasure, and I'll be back on anytime. So just let me know.
Hey, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Love the show. Love what you guys are doing, and thanks for having me.
Thanks so
much. Congratulations on your many successes, and thanks for coming on and being a guest on our show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys. You guys are the best.
Thank you, buddy.
Yep. We try. Well, they try. I am.
Yeah.
It's a hard life.
Yeah, it's a hard knock life. All right. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Bye, Brock. Take care,
Absolutely.
man.
All
I'll see you
right.
guys.
Have a good night. Bye-bye. Good stuff. Brock
If
Riley.
they had a bingo card for our show, it would be like butts, underwear.
Yeah, right.
Like very specific, like
Crotches.
or a drinking game, we should have a drinking game one night and see how hammered everybody gets. That'd be awesome.
On the show, yeah, that would be fun.
Oh, oh my God, that'd be fun. We should do that for a fun day.
Yeah. So, Ange, did you have something for your segment?
Did you want to play the thing? I mean, it's just something little that I can share. I don't mind. But you can.
I forgot to download the video.
Oh, well, no problem. So just
the theme music.
But I can pull up the link if you.
Let me tell you about my
best friend. Take it.
So as everybody else is going through the depression of the post season, one of the things that is happening very soon for people who are interested is that the Women's Professional Baseball League will be conducting their draft on November 20th. They are going to draft up to 120 eligible players, and they will be drafted into their teams, and there can be there can be transfers before the season, but as of November 20th, we will have our Boston, our San Francisco, our LA, and our New York women's baseball teams for the inaugural season next year.
That's awesome.
I've already emailed about season tickets.
Ange, are they drafting full teams, like 30 each team?
They're saying up to 40 each team.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, imagine, so with the teams spread out where they are, travel is going to be insane.
Yeah, ridiculous.
So I imagine they're going to have to rotate players for some of those really long.
It's crazy that they're still figuring all this out, and the season's starting next year. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they're figuring out their drafts, but
yeah, but fields.
I feel like they probably have. You don't think that they already have some of those logistics? I'm sure they've been trying to figure out what would work.
I think they're still trying to nail down a lot, but
I agree with that.
They just decided which cities it's going to be in, right?
But again, I think that they had a pool of which cities it was going to be, right? So it wasn't just like every city in the U.S. So I think what they're doing is that they're trying to build some suspense while having planned the suspense, right?
Yeah, I think already have an idea where they're.
Yeah, I think that they had all that. I mean, and Justine Siegel is no joke. I mean, she's been in baseball her entire career. So she knows I think she's going to do it all the right way. They have a lot of backing. They have a lot of support. I think it's interesting timing with the MLB now putting money into softball and trying to, and they're like, and all the talk about a pro softball league. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, because they do have money going that way, which I read about end of last year. I think I read about it, and I haven't heard anything more, but it's interesting what is happening.
Zach wants his wife back.
Yeah.
I think it'll probably be a lot of what like the WNBA did, where they kind of waited for those other markets to turn a profit before they could kind of expand, right? And they're doing all right.
I mean, they're killing it, right? But I do think that there's a difference between women's basketball and women's baseball, because if you think about like not March Madness, but the NCAA, the women's teams have always, UConn has always been a dynasty, right? Like all of these colleges have been at Villanova, Gonzaga, right? Like there have been these dynasties of female basketball teams. LSU, I mean, look at what's her face, Kim, what's her last name? That coach there who's like, no, Kim.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
You know, it begins with an M. Mulkey. Is it Tennessee?
Mulkey.
Yeah, Kim Mulkey, who's like, so I never know it, but anyways, but she's insane coach, right? I think women's basketball gets a lot of coverage already, and this is going to be new for women's. I mean, softball doesn't even get coverage, and that's been a sport forever. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And I'm trying to be realistic, and I have high hopes, but I'm also very cautious that we'll see. I don't want to say that this might not work, but I don't think it's going to pick up as fast as the WNBA. I think
it's going to be a grind. Yeah.
So I do too. I think it's going to be a grind. I think it's going to be a slow rollout. And I do think that there is probably going to be some struggle in the first couple of years, but if they can manage to stick it out, I think it's going to be awesome.
I do too. I can't wait to see it.
I mean, I can't wait, right? I'm fucking there. I'm season ticket holder. Like, let's go. But I think that if we're going to be realistic about it and the history of women's baseball and the history of women in sports in general, this is a big ask. And I think that it's going to be interesting to see how it happens and if they can do it slowly and strategically.
Brock said he forgot to tell the story of being offered to be the head pitching coach for the Great Britain women's national team. I couldn't due to work commitments, but wish I could have. I can't wait to see the new women's pro league and we'll be watching.
Sick.
Awesome.
Sick. There's nothing better than men who support women's sports. There really isn't, honestly.
I thought he was commenting to change one of his starting.
I did too. I was waiting to see who he thought of. Yeah, I did. But no, to your point, I think it's going to be awesome, and I look forward to seeing how it rolls out, and I hope it's done in a thoughtful way. But I've watched Justine Siegel create Baseball for All, which has been an organization that's helped girls in baseball for the past couple years now. And so this isn't a surprise. This has always been kind of like her brainchild. But now here it is, fruition and funding and all that. So I think it's going to be great.
Yep.
I do too.
And good luck to those.
You guys know about the sports bra? You guys know about this? The sports bra? So this chick, and I wish I remembered her name. Yeah, but this chick opened up a sports bar that only airs women's sports.
I thought you said
called
sports
the sports
bra.
No,
That's
it's called the sports bra.
Oh,
that's the name of the bar. That's why that's so awesome.
Oh.
But it's called the sports bra is the name of the bar, right? And all sick, right? She's so smart. But and all they do is air women's sports. And so people were telling her, this is gonna fail. This is gonna fail. Well, now she's opening up like 3 more across the country, and one is gonna be in Boston. I just don't know where yet.
Yeah, because dudes see bra and they're like, let's go.
There.
Yeah.
But you know what though? How awesome that there's going to be a place where men don't go. And I love y'all, but it's going to be really nice to just have a place where we as women get to be crazy and sports fans.
You think it's just like mostly women?
Yeah.
Go there. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I will, because I will tell you in my, whatever. I don't need to share that
Those
story.
circles you run. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
But how many women's games are there on? Like, for them to air like that all the time?
Fucking time.
There's enough. Yeah.
Oh, no, but I think all the fucking time, and I think that's the part, that it is happening. It's just not visible. It's under the surface. But if you think about basketball, baseball, soccer,
lacrosse.
Yeah.
Look, oh my God! But even MMA, even like those intense UFC stuff. I mean, there's enough women's sports, tennis, running. There's enough of it. It's not visible. And I think that as the visibility happens, more girls are going to want to play baseball. I mean, honestly, I got into baseball because I saw A League of Their Own 150 times when I was 10 years old and became obsessed. Had I have not seen that movie, had I have not witnessed women playing baseball, that might have just gone by me as something that has become literally the love of my life. I mean, true story. I had my children at Beth Israel because it's the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox, and they get little Red Sox beanies when they're born. The only reason why I had my children at Beth Israel, and I still have them.
Wow.
Yeah, like literally when I was picking hospitals, I was like, oh, definitely Beth Israel, because then they show the pictures of all the newborn babies at Fenway. Like, who does that? Me. I know.
I meant to ask
Y'all
Brock
think you love baseball, but
if he thought about trying out for the bananas.
Oh, that would have been. Brock, are you still listening? Do you want to try out for the bananas?
If it doesn't work out with the Brock and Rocks.
But we'd have to figure out what stupid human trick he has.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you need like a stupid human trick.
Yeah, he can pitch really well. The tricks can come later. Yeah, he's got a great pickoff move to second.
That's true. But yeah. But does his glove light up, and can he like fart sparkles? I mean, that's the question.
That's pretty much what you need, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the bananas too, adding 2 more teams. So I'm excited for all of it. I mean, I think baseball has a lot in store next year, but post-season, post-baseball is so depressing. I was sitting on my couch the other night. And I literally felt like Charlie in It's Always Sunny. I'm like, okay, what do now? Like, there's no baseball on. Like, what am I doing? And then I'll watch old games.
I watch old games all the time.
I'll put on old games and just watch those. And knowing what's going to happen, it doesn't even bother me. It's like it's in the background and I love it. And also, when I get to hear Jerry Remy, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, Rum Dog. Like it's so nostalgic to hear him. So
Especially a
Rock-
young one. Yeah, they've been playing a lot of
I
games.
love that banana ball
Yeah.
exists and gets people interested, but it's not my cup of tea. Yeah, I can fart sparkles, but I can't sing or dance.
That's amazing.
Good stuff.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. What are we doing next week? Do we have anything up on the lineup yet?
Possibly.
Yeah, we should do
27.
Carlton Fisk
27.
coming on the show.
That's right.
27.
Oh, yeah, let's get
27.
Fisk
He's the only 27. Yeah.
Actually, guys, real quick, happy birthday. This is 26 episodes. That's officially half a year.
Happy half birthday,
Happy
Fielder's
half birthday.
Choice.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I love that. Wow.
And in honor of that, you guys should like and subscribe to all of our channels: Facebook,
That
Instagram,
was
YouTube,
smooth.
and what's the last one? Spotify.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Tell all your friends. And we'll see you guys next week.
We'll see you guys next week. Next Monday, new time, same show, same studs.
Who's winning the football game, by the way? It's a good one. Green Bay
Don't
and
watch it.
Detroit.
We've been down here.
Yeah, I know.
Happy Monday.
Yeah.
Happy Monday. No school tomorrow.
Wow. 3-0 Eagles in the fourth.
Love it.
High scoring game.
Anda.
All right, guys.
All right, dudes.
Have a good night.
Good night.
See you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Later.
Peace.